dumping in all the waters. Oh my goodness, don't go in the water. You would be looking for some sharks. Oh, I'd rather deal with Jaws, not manatee on Viagra. But this is America. All right. I don't know what's going on YouTube. YouTube. Let me see where we're at. YouTube. It says that it is starting. Nope, it says it started. All right. Comments should be in there. I'm gonna try to read every comment. I'm gonna read as many as I can. I'm gonna try to keep my big mouth shut and just let's talk about what's wrong with the world. What we need to do to fix it, though. Because this is how I was when I was a manager. I had no interest in people who came to me like, "Oh, the problem, you got the problems, fix it." And I'm like, "No, I ain't fixing a damn thing." Because I'm be honest with you, I was a lazy manager. I was a lazy slave whipper. I was lazy because, oh man, I don't often blow my horn, but I knew what the hell I was doing when it came to software engineering. All right, my father indoctrinated a good corporate slave as a software engineer, so I did my thing. And I wanted my people to do their thing. Damn it, I wanted my slaves working. I wanted them to do their things good. And so you can only get that if you raise people to solve their own damn problems. So I love to talk. Let's talk about the Earth's status. Can we talk about the real problems on the Earth? What's your solution? Everything out my big mouth too. I don't want to just have problems. I got solutions, baby. I got a whole bunch of them. They're not mine. Ain't none of them mine. I done plagiarized all of them from like thought leaders who actually thinking about this stuff decades ago. But what are the big problems? I want to hear climate change. Climate change is a problem. CO2, not a problem. What's going on? 5G a problem. What are the problems? What should we really be focused on? Hopefully y'all got something good we can talk about. If not, then we'll look at the news and figure out what the silly people What about the people who still believe we're talking about? I was on my timeline this morning. I every now and then I want to go see what the people believe, what they're thinking about, what they think. And I ran into, I guess, a brother's post. What was it about? It was about Trump. It was about Trump. What did he say? He said, goodness. He said, Trump is a racist, and if you still support him, you're racist. And I'm just like, okay, so we still on this. That's okay. Everybody got different news, right? Everybody follows different, their circles are different. So I try to keep my posts, my comments succinct best that I can. And I just simply said, everybody in America is racist because we live in a racial society. Our society literally breeds racism systemically. We ask the babies when they're young, what are you? Is you white? Is you black? Put little boxes. Hispanic? Is Chinese? Is Native American? Like from the very beginning, we get the kids focused on this fantasy construct called race. This just ridiculousness. So everybody in America is racist. I'm sorry. Hey, you can call it pride if you want to. You can if you want. If you believe in this side, it's gonna be that side. That's just how it works. And the more pride you get in this side, the more pride is gonna be in that side. And eventually, it's gonna be a fight. That's everybody in America is racist. I don't care nothing. So Donald Trump, I don't care. We got pictures of him with black people all back. Once again, dancing in the Bobby Brown video. He came in the video, he's like, Y'all remember the video. What's the name of that video? Y'all know it. Donald Trump was in there. Bobby Brown, he had the 50-foot black person on his Trump building, Trump tie. Now, would a racist man put a 50-foot black man? Okay, thank you. So I don't care who's most racist. This is what I do know. Because our society is geared towards dumb things like race and all the tribalism that's going to end up killing the world. They picked a black president. And that's why Obama got in. They selected him. You did not elect. I'm sorry. I know you think you elected. You got together, got people on the buses and everything. You want to show the world on the other side you're not racist and everything. You want to vote for the semi-black, well, interracial. But people who still believe in this thread. You know why they elected him? Because it was on the stats. Like, no, they elected him for one damn reason. They needed to invade Africa. That's it. And white man couldn't do that. You can't do it with bright skin. Because the people with the dark skin in America, they get moody. They get moody when you start. So you couldn't invade and restart slavery in Africa with a bright guy. So you had to pick a dark guy. And they picked the dark guy. That's it. And they went in there, killed Gaddafi, restarted slavery. They invaded, y'all. They sent AFRICOM in there. This is why I don't believe in this. This is why I do not believe. I don't believe in presidents. I don't believe in politicians. I don't even believe in leaders. The more I think about it, the more I realize I'm an adult. I can change my own diaper. So is Trump racist? I really don't know, and I don't care. I don't think so. I think he just likes money. I think he's like Obama. I think he's like Bush and Clinton and AOC and somebody. I got in trouble for AOC this weekend. Somebody posted something on AOC and I reshared it and everybody, man, you don't like AOC? And I was like, no, I don't like it dislike anybody. I love all of them. They're all my family. They're all silly as hell, but I love all of them. The reality is, though, they're not in control. I like what AOC says. I like what Bernie says. I actually like some of the things Trump said. I like some of the things Obama said. I like some of the things that everybody says. The bottom line is they can't solve the problem, though. They didn't get permission, y'all. They didn't get permission. Step one, get permission to do the things you want to do. If you didn't get permission, then why are you trying to get people behind you? You need to go to the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Mellons. Somebody gonna have to sign that permission slip before I believe your talking points. Short of that, you just playing games. You getting the dumb monkeys to keep doing what the dumb monkeys do. That's it. And that's it. So here's my solution. I think the problem with the earth is tribalism. That's what I think. How do you fix that? Let everybody know their family again. Let everybody know their family. I had a great conversation this weekend. I was talking to a brother that does axe throwing. Did y'all know axe throwing is a thing in America again? They do axe throwing. It's a competition. They have tournaments. The Americans learn how to throw axes again. I'm like, oh Lord. I know I did start and I said I don't have nothing to talk about, didn't I? But listen, my life is crazy. I am enjoying this human experience, and it doesn't mean that it's happy all the time. I got challenges like everybody else, but I'm enjoying this experience. This spiritual creature in the biological sense, and everybody think they are what the biological says. But yeah, they're learning axe throwing again. I had a good conversation with the brother. I was talking to him and his family, his son, and everybody. And of course, they how you say it, they had darker melanin in the skin. We have a good conversation, and we were in an area where most people did not have melanin in the skin. Oh, look at angry face, angry face, big angry face. I love the angry faces. Many people getting it. Change is hard. Nobody should be laughing and smiling all the damn time. Yeah, but then so we're in this place where a lot of people weren't with melanin. I said, look around. Y'all call them white people. Look around. How many African Americans do you see? And of course, they kind of looked around. They're like, one, Mike, I don't know. The baby got blue eyes and kind of sort of brownish hair. Guys that look like might be two in the crowd. I tell you what I see. You know what I see? I see a whole field full of hundreds of African Americans. What you talking about? All life came out of Africa. That's all I see. I see a whole bunch of my cousins. Now, man, mind you, they just went north and stopped and hung out at the Caucasus Mountains for a minute. But it's all family. It's all family. All cousins all over this planet. Everybody in America is literally an African American, North African American. Everybody, period. All your family. That's the first problem, I think. The first problem with Earth is people too damn tribal. They're too divided up, and they don't realize they're all family. That's number one. Remind people, whether it's science or religion, you're all family. And number two is you got to get the people talking, right? Because family solves problems the right way, if you know who's in your family. If you got 7 billion people in your family, and you have a way to communicate, an uncensored, free internet, and it's an internet that allows you to interconnect with all of your family, Earth will right itself. It'll right itself, Look at the elites and look at what they do. To me, the thing I see them that they have the most significant issue with, it's not y'all fighting over race and religion, doing the things that they want you to do. It's realizing that you're all connected. It's not okay to go bomb other people and steal the whole damn continent with Africa. It's not okay to murder people and steal what they got. One, realizing that you're all family. And two, stopping you from talking. Right? Censoring everything, every way they can. That's why I spend a lot of time watching international news and looking at the differences in the news. To me, those are the two problems. You solve those two, everything will right itself. Like, I like consciousness, and let's kind of get that in there. But I think that'll develop. If you look at a family, when you got unconditional love for people, are you bombing them? Are you killing them? When you feel like you're a steward, when you put on your money in God we trust, and then we act like we're Satan. All right, I'm gonna do my best to read the comments. That's all I want. I'll put that out. Done. Shut up, Gerard. Read the comments. I live sometimes in a war zone. Join me. Ooh, Christine, I will not be joining you in a war zone. No, girl. Nope. I'm not the axes. We were kids. We did blow darts and shotguns and BB guns and real guns and stuff. I don't ever want to do that again. I think war shouldn't exist. I don't go to violent areas. If you need police at your event, I will not be there. I don't even go to places where you have police. Because if you don't know that everyone there is going to be above board enough to not have popo presence, then you don't need to see me. Play to death, sis, can't join you. No angry faces on YouTube. Yeah, no, Augustine, yeah, because YouTube, let me see. I think YouTube is different. I don't know how YouTube works. They don't fly across the screen. The powers that be need to divide. Well, YouTube, there's no angry face. They got like and unlike. You unlike it, I won't get popular over there. And I'm trying to stir up the Kool-Aid a little bit over there, so not too much. YouTube is dangerous. No, I look at the YouTube comment section. Hell no. Them people ain't got no cool. None whatsoever. I don't even look at YouTube comments. I pretend it doesn't even exist. The only time I look at my YouTube comment section is when I see my friends posting stuff. Creative questions. Nah, it's some thug life. I don't give a damn about anything. Fools over there. No. Let me see. Not easy for me to obey. What, Debbie? Don't obey. Don't obey anything. Don't obey anybody. Nobody knows you, Debbie. I don't know if you know you. Don't obey anybody. Everybody is a free Southern person, sovereign person. Let me see. My friends list is flatlining right. Right to say. But David, then you're doing something right. You're doing something right. Every day I get about 5. I get it does that. I'm not good enough like you. I can't get it to flatline. But if you're making people angry, especially at election time, it means you're saying truthful things. If you're getting people all tribalized up with you and y'all going to fight some other poor people and keep the system, keep the earth in the same status, then you're not doing anything. Right. You're not. You're definitely not living yourself. You're doing what Debbie said above. You're just obeying. That's it. Humans are to disconnect from the planet that sustains them. Humans are too disconnected from the planet that sustains them. Isn't that what is wrong with the world? Well, Debbie, I kind of think that if we have an Earth week, it's kind of cool, kind of, sort of. I kind of like food. I kind of like to eat. I kind of like water. I'm getting used to that stuff, and I think the Earth provides those things. So I think being disconnected from it, that could be a problem. You're right. People need to be more connected. It's like every township I've lived in, you got to cut your grass before it gets to 6 to 7 inches. Like we're literally trying to kill the pollinators. 6 to 7 inches, that's when the dandelions really get funky, right? That's when you really start feeding the pollinators. But you got to cut your grass before it gets to 6 inches, before you start to get the flowering, wildflowers doing what they're supposed to, so the bees can eat and they get the pollen and spread it around so they can pollinate the tomatoes and every damn thing else. And so food prices go up. Why are food prices high? And people like to eat it and they can't eat, they act crazy. Well, we got a lot of dumb laws that go away. Like I said this weekend, to me, there's only one law. There's only one law. And everything else is like violating that law. To me, that law is just respecting everyone's sovereignty, respecting everyone's free will, what all the gods told everybody to do. Respect everyone's sovereignty, that's it. That's the only law. You can't violate anyone, no violations. So you do that, you're good to go. But then every other law after that, and America has like 500,000, they're just about violating that. That's it. You got one law. You can't have legislators and not have a problem in your nation, because they're always going to want power and they're always going to take away people's rights to sovereignty. When you take that away, people act up. They can't grow food. They can't get water. They can't have a house. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm just trying to read through comments today. It's time for the planet to hit, or it's time for the plan to hit the ship. Ron, and I'm good with whatever that plan is. Let's just not keep going the same direction. Whatever it is, we need a paradigm shift. We need to completely shift away from everything we're doing because we're destroying everything. I mean, is there any way to reverse the nutrition value of foods? Absolutely, Brother David, but it's two ways. Two ways for a plant to grow. One is the dumb human to tell it what it has to eat. And the other way is for the plant to decide with mycorrhizae fungi what it wants to eat. The reason why food doesn't have any nutrition in America is just like eating cardboard. It's because the farmers have no idea how to grow. They're not farmers, they're chemical engineers. They got rid of all the farmers. I mean, there are a lot of good small-time farms that are doing it right, but you need a soil food web. When the plant can determine what it needs to eat, then the plant is healthy and it makes a nutritious fruit. An example, David, would be a pregnant woman. Right? We know the second brain is in your gut, and so that's determining what it needs to eat. All that microbiology, flora and fauna says, hey, this is what we need to eat because we got cancer, leukemia, we got this, we need to fix that, we got some scar tissue, and if I get all the compounds, I can get everybody working on in the immune system, all the white blood cell, the cytotoxic T cells and everything. But if you're fooling your gut by using, what are they called, food chemists, to trick you to take the compounds out of strawberries and put them in jujubes, then you eat the jujube and your body's like, oh, I need jujubes. You're gonna make a very unhealthy human. Well, plants the same way. If a plant can call out for what it needs, whether it's selenium, magnesium, instead of the farmer telling it what it needs through mycorrhizae fungi, that symbiotic relationship, then the food will actually have the nutrients it's supposed to. It actually really is that simple. And it's actually great, and it's a very, that was a good example. I like that example. But it is, the same reason humans are sick, and the same reason humans don't have any nutrition, they have dis-ease, is the same reason the plants do. How do you do it? You permaculture. You bring back the soil food web. You stop putting chemicals in the ground. You stop using the salt-based fertilizers and the carcinogen pesticides. You stop poisoning the soil food web, and the planet writes itself. The farm will write itself. All you need is a couple years. Microbiology started doing it. Elaine Ingham, look up Elaine Ingham. She'll explain it to you. And that's how you fix that. Healthcare, you can get rid of universal healthcare and just teach farmers how to grow soil food webs with. That's what you need, a Department of Farm. Get rid of all the other departments, have a Department of Farm, have Elaine Ingham head it, and have her require the farmers grow in microbiology-rich soils again, and everybody gets healthy again. Healthcare costs fall through the floor. Pharmaceutical companies ain't gonna like that, though. And the Democrats and Republicans, they're not gonna appreciate you do that, though. The world will be fine. Delicate human society, population will go away fast without major change. Exactly, Brother Hank. That's why I say don't save the world. Don't worry about saving Earth. The Earth, the Earth is just going through a phase. It'll shake us off like bad fleas. Absolutely true. We need to think about saving each other, which is why we were told to be stewards of the planet. Because you need to save the environment the humans need. The planet could care less. The planet is probably just a machine, and we're life that's on it. Worry about saving your cousins. That's it. Worry about saving your cousins. The planet's going to be fine. Where's the cycle irreversible? I think, David, a cycle is a cycle. I think it's just going to keep cycling around. That's what I think. You know, we can break the cycle, but it means we got to break the paradigm. Right? We got to stop doing the same things and expecting a different result. Right? We keep doing the same things trying to fix the problem. A good example. I troll politics as much as I can because it's silly, stupid, and stupidicalous to keep doing the same thing. To go to the people who caused all the problems and require that they fix the problem. To go to the system that requires the problems to make the money to buy the politicians, and then go to the politicians to fix the problem. That's a cycle. That's a cycle. I don't know if it's irreversible, but you can break it. You got to do something different. That's it. Do something different. Gerard, great. What are you saying, Linda? You're great, Gerard. You should be on a TV talk show. No, Linda, I should not. No, they kill me. No. I'm not interested in like being popular. I just want to try to help people to see some things I see, and hopefully they can help me see some things they see, and that's it. You get too popular, you die. You ever get effective at actually creating a paradigm shift in this world, Linda? They kill you. That is the result. That's how I know that Trump is not fighting the deep state. And that's how I know Obama was not there to help black people, poor people. That's how I know Bush wasn't there for the interest of America. And Reagan didn't give a damn about no trickle-down economics. It's all a scam. It's all a puppet show. But if you ever get good at fighting that system, a couple of them like John Lennon, Martin Luther King, a couple friends I know in Hollywood, you ever get big and actually get effective at fighting this system, they kill you. You ever turn on the system like the Kennedys, JFK, they kill you. Like that's it. I'm not worried about dying, Linda. Just, I got plans to grow. I have plans to grow. So I don't have any interest in popularity or money. I'd rather have, how many people here? Between the two sites, might be 30 people right about now, maybe 45. They play with the view counts, so you never really know how many people are here. And people watch later. I'd rather have 2 real people than 2,000 fake ones, right? 2,000 fake people, you're not doing anything, right? 200 million fake Americans faking the funk. All you're gonna do is destroy the planet. It's better to have 2 or 3 real people you can have a real discussion with than 200 or 300 phony people having phony discussions because they were indoctrinated into the matrix. They don't know how to get out of it. That's a waste of oxygen. It's a waste of time. And that's why I'm down. I'd go on a TV show, Linda, if you know one. I don't know. Depends on the day. What time is it? It's 7:22 at 10:12. And my bones feeling no, not today. I have too many things to do, and people need to wake up on their own. All we can do is share information, because the other side of it, you don't want to try to wake people up. People need to wake up on their own time. You put the information out there, it's like a dog, right? You put the dog food out there. When they're hungry, they'll eat it, but you gotta put it out there, so put it out there. So my only interest is people who actually give a damn, having conversations around what we can do to shift the paradigm. And it only takes a few people. One person literally could change the world. One person. I see a new person, Jennifer Perez. I think you're new. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of comments from you. But Jennifer Perez might change the world, right? You might say something, she picks it up, and she knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And who knows what kind of avalanche that could cause. Right? One person could change everything. So it's not about how many people going on mainstream oligarchs, elite television stations and hope that they let you say something that might be true that actually fights lose their power. I don't think a lot of truth, though, Linda, is allowed on television. That's why I don't trust anything I see on television. I trust the stories, I trust the sitcoms, I trust the movies. I think a lot of good examples in some of them. I'm watching one right now on Netflix called The Society. I mentioned the other day. I like it. It's like 200 kids disappear in high school, and they end up in a town without the spoiler alert. And it's interesting how they're trying to re-kit society, right? They're trying to create their own society from what they've seen that didn't work in theirs, and their parents failed society. That's really interesting. I think there's some truthful things in there, but you get on television like Chris Hedges or somebody, you start saying truthful things like you need to end it, Ron Paul, end central banking, and that the world and what people think, and that the presidents are puppets. They just turn you off, or they kind of laugh it off. They're kind of treated like the alien topic. So I don't think anything important is on mainstream. And I think if you're successful at it, then they just kill you. It's a little dark, but that's the real Earth status right now. You have billionaires who run everything. They own nations. There is no America. America stopped existing a long time ago. All right, I gotta go fast and get the comments. I'm trying to read as many comments as I can. All issues, I picked on Jennifer, so let's Jennifer, in case you know somebody, Jennifer can fix the world, you know how to ET phone on, call the aliens. Someone come help us out, then please do that. All issues will never be solved until people can change themselves from within first. Step over the hurdles and the walls they have built for themselves. Yes, amen, Jennifer. The only thing I'd add to that is some of the walls they built for themselves, the others were built for them. They were born and indoctrinated, even by the people who love them most, because the people who love them most were indoctrinated. People's parents messed them up. when they're born, they tell them who they are, and they give them pride in something, and they send them off to fight other poor people instead of build a better world. So that's the only thing I'd add to that, but that's it. It's all in the mirror. When people look in the mirror and they really take a hard adult look at themselves and they really start to mature, then things will start to go the right way. I meant to say you should be on a TV show. No, Linda, not till TV's free. That's what you're saying. Yeah, not till TV is free. TV's not free. Everything on it is controlled opposition. Everything on it, it pushes you into some frame of thinking. I mean, I think there might be some honest TV out there that's not like, you know, cable station 207,005 or something like that on the B side. Anybody remember when channels had A and B? Then they had UHF and VHF. It would be on the UHF side. It would be just something staticky and insignificant and nobody ever watches. You know, was it 6 corporations own 80% of the media, so it's just all lies. And I wouldn't expect anybody to trust me if I was on there, because you don't know what. I tell people don't trust me anyway. Don't trust anything I say. Don't trust anything anybody says. Do your own research. Use your own critical thought. You decide if it makes some sense, and if it doesn't make sense, say it doesn't make sense. If you got information that's in opposition to what I say or anybody else says, post it. That's how we solve the world. We examine ourselves, but then we have truthful conversation as well. Pride is how they were born, which they had nothing to do with. Right, well, that's true, Sharon, as children. But as people start to grow up and that frontal lobe develops, once again, the warrior gene is a real thing. So some people are lost in that psychopathy, which is great on the show. They got a psychopath on the show. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, all right. I stayed up late watching it. Yeah, see, the thing is, if I understand the neuroscientists right on the whole pride and all of that, is once you're kind of locked into that mental illness thing, you're pretty much there. I mean, some people slip out of it, some don't, but they keep that pride because they have a fight and they have a struggle now, and they'll just keep fighting that till they die. And so waking people up, that inner work that we talked about above, that is the absolute most important. But you shouldn't have pride. Have pride in earth. Like pride, I don't even know what pride is anymore. I don't think I even have pride. What the hell is pride? Why is pride even a word? Why can't we just be? Why? Because when I think of pride, I kind of think of a pride. Is that where the word came from? The lion pride? Like when I think of pride, it's like you're having some sort of bigoted, I'm better than you, we're stronger than you, we're like, pride has a connotation of conflict and survival of the fittest, or we're something. And I don't think it should be broken up into prides. I think when the human race isn't a bunch of prides, things go the right way. But when we're all divided up, so I don't even know what the word really means, but it shouldn't even be there. We need to raise kids to be a collective, you know, solve problems. You know, they don't need to be put into prides. All right, I'm gonna have to kind of skip down to every other comment, or I'm not gonna get through many. I found you through Sane Progressive. I miss Debbie. Yeah, Plemy K. Debbie's doing great. Talked to her the other day. She's doing fantastic. She's going back to school. And that's a good example. And that's why I don't want to be on no damn TV. She got too big too fast. Debbie could press a button. You have thousands of people watching her. ABC, Fox, NBC, they will go public. They press a button and they have like 100, 200. When you have that amount of power, they're going to come for you. And they came for her. They came for her in ways that I think she won't even tell me. I don't think she'll tell her closest friends or her family. You know, when you get big and you're like talking against drug cartels, well, now the drug cartels, they're small and they're weak. They don't have a whole lot of power. When you start going up against a DNC and a GOP, the cartels that really murder people, the cartels that murdered 5 million people since 9/11, these people genocided 100,000 children in Yemen, and they're still starving them to death right now. These people restarted slavery in Africa, and if you're affiliated with the group, I'm gonna ask you, you might want to think about that affiliation. But nah, you can't get big and go up against thugs and criminals and warlords. They will murder you. And so Debbie backed away, but she's doing good. She's going back to school. My guess would be that we all need to either become vegan or at the very least moderate our meat consumption as well as milk. I have friends who want to start community farms. That's a great thing, Diana. People have to become strong again. And I agree, but I don't tell people they need to be vegan or vegetarian. They should cut back the meat. Why? Because even the dumbest doctor agrees on that. People are evolving to eat meat, but you ain't there. It causes too many problems. It's got that casein that's in the milk. It grows cancer. Literally, it's a cancer fertilizer. Even the new, not the New World Order, the World Health Organization even said that meat is a carcinogen because it has that casein in it, and milk and cheese are even worse. And I don't know anything about goat milk, and I know there's a relationship between how we're raising the cattle, right? What they're eating and poisoning them. Doesn't drink Viagra water. So I think there's something there too. But definitely cut back the meat, and if you're going to eat meat, eat it healthy. Know your local farmers. Let it be grass-fed. Let it be an animal that lived a pleasant life, not something that was abused in a factory and it's the cheapest meat possible in the lab. But a solution on that, Diane, is we're going to start growing meat, right? Start growing healthy meat, and I think that's a good thing. I think people who like to eat, you should eat the laboratory meat. Why? Because it can be healthy and organic, and it can have more nutrition, like the fruits and vegetables, to solve those problems. G, you can change your diaper. Trump can't. Exactly. That's my whole point, David. I don't want Trump in my diaper. I don't want him changing my diaper. I don't want Obama in there. I don't want Bernie. I don't want none of AOC. No Kamala is. Nobody needs to change my diaper. But yeah, I posted something and people got upset and they're like, you don't like AOC? And it's like, no, it's not that. Y'all don't seem to understand. If they don't have, all right. It's like hiring a plumber to do a job, and the plumber shows up at your house. Ding, ding. Plumber's at the door. I got sound effects, y'all. I like stories. And the plumber's at the, all right, my sink is leaking. You need to go fix the sink. All right, I can fix that damn sink. So I don't want to see no plumber's button either. So you need to pull your pants up, put your belt on. Damn it, what are you, about 35? Why is your belt? Look like you're a kid. Yeah, pull your pants up. I don't see no plumber's crack. Go get your tools out the truck. He said, tools? What tools? The tools, damn it. The sink is busted. We got healthcare problems. We got problems with the Federal Reserve. We got problems with poverty. America could have fed everybody 50 years ago on the technology it had just on the state of Vermont or Rhode Island alone. America could have fed everybody, and it says, in God we trust, and that's all God did was feed people when Jesus was here. So this is what we're supposed to be doing 50 damn years ago. Go on out to the truck and get your tools. You need tools to fix the leak. I ain't got no tools. I'm just gonna go upstairs and fix it. No, you're not going upstairs. You don't have no damn tools. Why are you a plumber? You're a politician. You don't know that the Federal Reserve, what's wrong with the country. You don't know that big money in politics is why none of y'all ever do anything ever important. You just got all of these talking points. So it's not about AOC, and it's not about Bernie. It's not about Trump. It's not about any of them. It's about they give you talking points that they can't achieve. They're plumbers showing up at your door, ding dong, and they ain't even bring a truck. They showed up in a Prius. No. If you're gonna have, there you go. They got an angry face. There we go. There you go. That's how you get a paradigm shift. Yeah. That's my point. Make sure your politician got a tool belt. They don't have a tool belt. I want to see, you know what? That's what I want to see. I want to see your politician show up with like a beer belly, the plant pants sag and plumber's crack. I want them to be dirty and filthy and muck and mud and goo from the sink. Like they would just at somebody else's house fixing something. They got a resume that says they know how to fix the problems, and they got the tool belt hanging down. I want the plumber to look like the popo. That's why I like the police. You know how police used to be all fat and everything. They're not fat no more because they got to carry 200 pounds worth of equipment. That's all I'm saying. You're picking politicians that don't have no damn tools. They don't have the ability to get rid of central banking. They don't have the ability to take on big pharma. They don't have the ability to take on the military-industrial complex. And the last president who had some of the tools, because he came from a billionaire family, the Kennedys, who were powerful all over the world, he couldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. It's like, the status of Earth is you keep picking plumbers to fix the damn sink, but they ain't got the pipe. They ain't got the pipe. They ain't got the plumber's wrench. They don't have anything. They don't have no plumber's tape. They don't have nothing. The job requires a screwdriver. And they're talking about how nice and fun it's going to be when the sink is fixed. No. They don't have any tools. People stop believing. All right, now I know I spent a minute on that comment. I'm trying to read as many as I can. Wolfon said the planet is fine. Yes, I think it is. The planet's happy. We might not be. No, we're not, Wolfon. We're not happy, but we are how we're supposed to be. We are in the current state of our evolution, right? We're still silly enough to have leaders and outsource being an adult and hire plumbers. They ain't got no damn. There you go. Is that Brother Sean? Brother Sean. Oh, I saw that one. Brother Sean gave me an angry face. Man, I love you to death, man. We disagree. We disagree on the Bernie thing, but I love you to death, brother. And but even with Brother Sean, I watched one of his live streams where he's talking about he's a Bernie guy. But I'm not mad at him nor Bernie. I'm just saying we gotta give the politicians a system that is open to politics, right? Right now, the American system is not open to politics. And so when you get the AOC people with the Seans and the Rons and everybody else say, okay, so before we do this politic thing anymore, we're gonna fix the problem with the system. We're going to take money out of the system that keeps stealing the tools from the politicians, right? Keeps stealing the pipe and the tools from the plumber. If they don't have the tools, they can't do anything. All they can do is go up on television and talk. And this is what I'm saying. Everybody has everything in common. It's not just America. I like politics. It's around the whole world, right? Because America literally does not exist. It's a piece of an empire, right? It's a piece of a banking empire. And banking is the biggest, but it's also a piece of an oil empire. It's a piece of a pharmaceutical empire. Their nations don't exist. All you have are massive corporations that have interest in other nations. That's what I'm saying. Everything is economics. Focus on the economics and you can actually fix the problem, but you got to be root cause oriented, right? The money, it puts these people in front of you and it gives you a sense of hope. But there is no hope in plumbers that don't have tools. Is that a good analogy? That makes sense? All right, let me keep going. I would look into hydroponics seriously. Brother David, hydroponics is good, but you really want to push toward aquaponics. Hydroponics is growing of plants in water with nutrient solutions, right? And they do have an organic way, which I don't hate on. It's just with regular hydroponics, you're still telling a plant what it's going to uptake, right? You can't have mycorrhizae fungi that live in hydroponic systems for long because all the unnatural elements in there. If you're going to do it, do aquaponics. It's a little different. It's just using fish and the food that they drop and the ammonia from their gills, but mycorrhizae fungi can still live in those beds. So the plants can determine what nutrients they take in. And that's why aquaponics, well, first of all plants grow semi-aquatic faster, most of them do. And in the ground, people don't realize that because all plants climbed out of the ocean. So I wouldn't go hydroponics, but look up aquaponics. That is definitely a way with the vertical grow towers. We could have fed the world 50 years ago. And that's kind of why I'm not in the not vote crew. Because I know that the politicians are either stupid or they're lying. We could have fed everybody and ended human conflict a long time ago. They're choosing not to. They want to keep the system and they want to keep human conflict. Even the nicest ones, the nicest great ones who say good things that just get everybody excited and the crowd cheering, they can feed everybody. And as long as people are dying, I don't really care about what I can get for them dying, right? We robbed all their countries. We stole all their minerals. Once again, that's why Obama was a president, because he had a black face and people would agree with it. And they would clap as he invaded a black continent, right? So I'm not interested in that. I know we can take care of everybody. We're choosing not to. We're choosing to bomb everybody and rob everybody. We're choosing to be the colonizer while crying about colonization. Good thing, enjoy the drama. Yeah, Christine, I kind of just sit back and watch it. I won't say I enjoy the drama, but it's a little fun. Okay, Christine. Sometimes I guess I do. Sometimes it's funny to watch people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s act like they're 5. Sometimes it's funny, but then I think about how people are really dying. I think we need to back it up and grow the hell up. Is this why we all that talk about aliens, an elite way to group everyone together against a new enemy? Yeah, Brother David, that's Project Bluebeam, right? That's where they're going to stage and pretend that aliens are going to invade. Aliens that only ever came here to start religions. They came here to start faiths and work together, love each other, give each other a shirt off their back. And, so now they're kind of promoting it like aliens give two damns and they want like to steal oil like the politicians do, like the banks do and the oil companies do. They're trying to make it seem as though the ships that are flying around are alien, and the vast majority are not. They're just United States Air Force, Space Force, and Russia Force and all of that stuff. But people will believe it. Like, as long as people believe in TV, they're going to run along with it. But yeah, that's what it is. And like I said, I trust whistleblowers before I trust everybody in government. Right? A whistleblower is somebody who's willing to give up their career and possibly die. And they got mortgages and they got a job to do, but they're coming forward and they're saying that this group is lying. And that's why I don't believe in the American system. But there are a couple whistleblowers actually who talk about Project Blue. So you should look that up. Poverty is rampant. Exactly, Verna. Poverty is rampant. Rampant. All over the United States, poor people. All over the United States. People starve in America. And we're sending money to other nations. We could literally take care of everybody in the United States and abroad, and we don't. To me, that's psychopathic. That's it's either politicians, they don't care, or they know they can't do anything about it, and they're not trying, or they don't know. But either way, they're plumbers without a tool. They can't do the job. The job is to be a steward of the planet, and none of them are. None of them. They got great ideas, but it's useless because they don't have tools. Not diversifying crops is killing land. Right, well, Yvonne, and that's how the land works. The land is not supposed to be 1 million tomatoes in one field. It's supposed to be diverse. You're supposed to have all different types of plants, companion plants growing together. That's another reason they're sick, because a lot of plants have symbiotic relationships that the farmers don't know about because they murdered all the Native Americans and the Native Germans, the Germanic tribes, the British tribes, all the African tribes. They killed them all off, but these were people who knew the symbiotic relationships between the plants, and they grew them together, which made them healthier. It's like human beings. Once again, same example. You got a symbiotic relationship with the flora and fauna in your gut. And if you kill them all off with fluoridated and chlorine water and Coca-Cola, and all the sugar and all the drinks, then yeah, you don't have your symbiotic relationship going on. You're gonna have an epic era of plagues and dis-ease and cancer because you no longer have your gut bacteria saying we need selenium, we need magnesium, we need the cannabinoids in the plant. We need these things, and if we don't get these things, it's going to be a problem because I can't feed the immune system the way I need to, and we're going to die. The cravings that women get when they're pregnant, everybody gets all the time. That's why you have cravings for certain things. We need to listen to our body. Just tune in, and there's that big old NASA CGI. Yeah, Patricia, and this is why, again, I don't get on the flat earthers because they're right, is that NASA lies too much. My brother asked me that, Patricia. He said, do I believe the moon landing was fake? I mean, I personally don't. Well, let me say it this way. I think we went to the moon, but by we, I mean them, not me. Not me, not America, not the poor people, not the upper class, the middle class, or the lower class. The elites went to the moon, and whatever they found, they did not want to share with us, and so they faked most of it. What was it called? The Brookings Report. The Brookings Report, where it said that, yeah, if you go to space and you find any aliens, evidence of aliens, you can't tell anybody because it'll destabilize Earth populations, and that's just not true. What it basically was about is that if you find aliens, it means it's something better than the world empires. There's something better than the world governments. It means that, there are someone on some planet figured out how to work things out to get into space. And they need people worshiping government. They need people worshiping kings, lords, and leaders. They need people going to work, paying their taxes. They don't need people looking up and saying, oh, the aliens are real, and discovering consciousness and spirituality and working together to achieve something greater. No, they wanted people fighting and staying in conflict and fighting racism and being racist with racism. They needed people killing people in the Middle East and Africa and Latin America and everywhere else to steal the resources, because that's what it's all about. If people know that there are abundant resources in space and we can get out of here, then they won't believe the system. Imagine, the funny part is, most people I know who don't believe in this system anymore, they don't believe in Earth conflict, they tend to believe in aliens. There's a link there, there's something there. But NASA lies about it. NASA's always been lying. They definitely faked a lot of the footage and a lot of the images. And now they're saying didn't they lose all the Apollo landing tapes? So oh yeah, we lost them. I don't know where they went. You know what happened? You didn't lose the Apollo. They're somewhere in the Congressional Library of Congress or the Rothschilds or Rockefeller. Somebody got them in the basement. You don't want to show anybody now because you had people like, what's his name? Jason Martell or Jason Merkel, I forgot his name, looking at the moon pictures and seeing clouds and smoke and pipes and spears, and all the things that Donna Hare told you about, that there's structures all over the moon. But that's what this is all about. It's always just about keep the humans focused on conflict on Earth, keep them fighting each other. Everything's divide and conquer. So I think there's a whole lot in space that no, we're not being told. Farming in Colorado, be rough without a greenhouse. Yeah, exactly, Trish, which is why we need to learn to grow in greenhouses, right? Stop fighting climate change and learn how to feed people in changing climates, right? Like, I don't really care that the climates are changing. I used to grow in a greenhouse with CO2, and I understand what happens when you use CO2. When the CO2 levels go up, the plants grow faster. And it's not just in the air, it's aquatic too. I used to have a planted aquarium. I still got one. I got two. It's not planted aquariums. And what do you do with CO2? You pump it in the water. Why? Because all the aquatic plants take off and clean it out. You know, so I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying I believe or don't believe in the CO2 thing. I'm just saying I actually used to grow with CO2. When the CO2 levels up, the plants thrive. Things get bigger. The humans get bigger. The dinosaurs, all of that works. Like the whole planet is an engine, and it just keeps rebalancing itself. So the more important thing is to learn how to grow in changing climates, and a greenhouse is a great way to do that. But government's not investing in that because they're stupid. They're stupid, or they want people to starve. They want food prices to go up, and that's why they're not reducing this whole idea that you got to cut your grass because it kills off the pollinators and the monarch butterflies. And the less of them that you have, the higher the food prices are. The more big industry makes from selling the food, the more they have to give for campaign contributions. We have been terrible stewards. The planet is going to throw us off soon. Eileen, we have not been stewarded off. We ain't done no stew. We ain't done no steward. We don't make nobody stew. We don't feed people. We had, even the hard part, we don't do any of it. We are literally burning the planet. That's all we're killing each other. That's all we're doing. And anybody who actually makes any progress in not doing that ends up disappeared. Repeated near extinction of humanity is what keeps people repeating the same story over and over. Yes, it is. And that's what they call it, Rebecca, Kali Yugas. We just keep going through these different yugas. I was waiting for notification this morning, and damn, just now I got to notice you've been here for 24 minutes. All right, yeah, whatever. Yeah, they don't do that. You know that. You've been here a minute. You know that they play with notifications, whether it's a software problem or conflict is how advertising helps. Like, I don't believe in a lot of conspiracy theories. I don't even believe in the word. I just believe in economics and money. It makes sense for Facebook to want conflict, because if you have conflict, then you have conversation. You have conversation, then they're selling ads, more people are logging in. And so, you know, the elites want conflict and divide and conquer because you can invade nations, and a lot of social media companies, they just make advertising dollars from it. Like, that's why I keep saying the dollar broke the human race. We're not evolved enough to have a currency. How many people have already watered their plants this morning? Deborah, I was out watering earlier. That's mostly why I'm late. It's been like 110 degrees. I was a slave sweating this weekend in the garden. But I was out watering this morning. You know, every morning I've got multiple gardens I take care of, so my day starts early. So that's why I'm kind of slow getting here. Yeah, give me an echo chamber today. That starts organizing. Well, yeah, I like to call them pod people, David. I like calling them pod people. They get in the pod and they like to hear each other say the same damn thing, which are talking points from the elite, who are all staff of the same people, which is why I'm not a socialistic capitalism person. And I don't like either one of them. Why? Because the people who work for the elites, who have empires all over the world, they want their people constantly cheering socialism or capitalism. To me, that means that cronyism will run them both. You'll never, talk to someone who truly understands socialism, and they'll tell you the truth. We've never had socialism. It's never existed. We never even tried it. Don't even know if it's going to work. Ask anybody who actually really understands free market capitalism, and they'll say the same thing. We've never had it. We never even started or tried it. It's always been cronyism. You talk to people who are informed, and you get that information, and you realize, well, why haven't we? Because they'll never let you. The cronies run all of it, and they will inject where they need to. And that's why they run everything. Exactly, one person can change the world. We're all infinite, powerful. That power is in relation, in our connection to others and all their connections. Exactly, Patricia, and that's what I'm saying. Step one, realize that you're all family. Step two, get connected. A free and open internet. and the planet will right itself. But as long as you have a controlled internet and you've got 6 media companies that run all the media, control all the news, all you're going to get is a bunch of tribal monkeys fighting each other. And that's the show Rebecca was talking about, just sitting back watching people fight each other for nothing. Politicians don't give them nothing. Agenda 21 and Agenda 30, I met a guy who has been following the Agenda 21 for 25 years, first with his job and then in his retirement. Oh yeah, and Sarah, if I remember right, I mean Agenda 21 is, it's a good idea about living in sync with the planet, but then they co-opted that real quick, and it's about farming humans into little boxes, and the elites own the land. It's kind of like the American model. The Americans thought they were getting the land. They stole it from the Native Americans and genocided them, and now no Americans own any land. Like everything is a land grab. Land is power. You own land, you got real power. You don't own no land, you have no power. Land, you can actually stand up to a government. You can become strong. You can tell people they need to go where they need to go. But if you don't own land, you don't have that. And that's what Agenda 21 is, a land grab. It's like our patriarchal world. Why do men not want their wives working? A lot of them. Some of them are evolving. Some of them out the cave, but a lot of them still in the cave. Our whole society is still in the damn caveman mode. It's because when women had job, women have money, women have power. Women with power can lead. That's what it's about. If you own people and they can't stand up, they don't own land, they can't provide for themselves, then you can beat them. You can abuse them, you can poison them, you can roll out 5G, you can start wars with them, you can starve them in trailer parks and ghettos and barriers while you send money to Venezuela to be burned up and $1 billion to Israel. If you have a captive person you're abusing, they can't ever escape. They can't ever get free. And so yeah, the model for the world is just like an abusive relationship in a marriage. The marriage where the man doesn't want the woman working, because he doesn't want her off talking to other people, realizing there's a better way. The same way it ties back to NASA and the elites, and they don't want you to know they're aliens and there are better ways to live and we can make it without robbing each other. They don't want that wife going to work and talking to alien marriages. They don't want the wife going to work saying, wait a minute, your husband doesn't make you cook dinner, he cooks dinner? What? That's crazy. That don't exist. They don't want women going to work realizing, oh, he doesn't lay hands on you, he doesn't cuss you out, he doesn't call you names, he takes baths, he uses deodorant, brushes his teeth, he actually shaves, doesn't have fleas in his beard. What? Just men like that and marriages like that? They don't want you to meet the alien marriage. That's what it is. That's why most Americans, it's hard to get a passport, because they don't want Americans leaving. They keep telling Americans that they're fighting for freedom and democracy. You go to another nation, they're like, nope, you're not fighting for freedom nor democracy. But not only that, you're slaves. In our country, we can grow what we want to grow. We can do what we want to do, and we go where we want to go. Our government's corrupt too, because you bombed and destabilized and toppled our governments, because the people who run your government wanted the resources, but we're still freer than you. But it's an abuser thing. If you're always convincing people aliens aren't real. That's funny how that tied back. Always convincing people there are no aliens. There's no other better way. This is the best way. This is the best way. Let's keep it going. And that's what I'm saying. Like Earth's status. What are the Earth's real problems? The real problem is people, they can't envision anything different. So they're staying the course. They're still beating the same old drums. They're still doing the same damn things, expecting a different result. They're still going to vote in a system that is designed to not change. That gave them voting, so they couldn't change. They kill you, then honor you, adding insult to death. Yeah, they do. That's how it works, David. The world works that way, unfortunately. Thanks for all you do, Gerard, bringing awareness to the people. Bonnie, I'm not sure that I do that. I'm just doing my job, and it doesn't require thanks, but thank you. It doesn't require thanks. We are all a part of this, and we all have to do our part to move things forward. I don't know how to help. I ended up here sitting here running my mouth every morning, but I think we all got to do what we're called to do. And to me, that's not anything that's above and beyond. That's basic humanity. When babies are being murdered, humans stand up and say no. They don't go vote for more. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I know if you're lined up to vote, I'm not telling you not to vote. I'm just saying, really think about what your part is. What is your part in being a steward? The problem isn't the politician, it's the system. Vote harder, damn it. Vote fine. Vote harder. Yeah. Hey, vote smarter, not harder, which probably isn't voting. It is terrifying for me to watch regular TV. It's equally terrifying to watch others use TV and their truth. It is, Trish. Oh, I got an example for you. It's a fly on my laptop. I'm about to kill him. Watch this. Well, I'm just hitting him. Stop. Bang! Got him. I ain't getting that time, but I usually get him. This cord got in my way. I usually get him. This was an example. How do you kill a fly? How did Mr. Miyagi catch the fly with chopsticks? I can't do the chopsticks, but I usually clap the fly. Is you don't swing where the fly is at. You swing where the fly is going. And I this is one of my stats from the weekend, Trish. Is how do you fix the system as you look where the system's going and you swing ahead of it? How do you get politicians to do what you want them to do? You look where they're going and you swing ahead of them. If they're all going to the Federal Reserve, they're all going to these corporations, they're all going to the corporations that are poisoning us and invading and causing war, you swing ahead. What is that? That's the Federal Reserve, central banking. It's their funding sources. It's the ability to have your politicians bribed. If you actually want to control your world through politics, I don't. I think it needs to go away. But if you do, then you need to swing ahead. If your politician knows you're already going to vote for him, then why should they change? Why should Bernie do any damn thing? Because all he can win. He didn't have to do anything. AOC can win. She didn't have to do anything. They know you're going to vote again. Why would they do anything? You need to swing ahead of where they are if you want them to change. Trump, you're still yelling and screaming for him. He was supposed to be the anti-globalist. He's doing the globalism. He's colonizing like the rest of them, trying to start wars, bringing the troops home. He's about to send troops back out. Support the troops is listening to the troops and the veterans saying, we sick of this. These wars are a lie. They have nothing to do with America. It's not defense. Swing ahead of them. If they know that you're going to stop supporting them, then they might do something sentient. But if they know you're going to clap and yell and scream for them, not because they did any damn thing, because you hate the other side, then they don't have to make any changes. But that's how you catch a fly. That's how Mr. Miyagi did it. He didn't snap the chopstick where the fly was. He snapped the chopstick where it was going. He didn't snap the politician based on the talking points the politician gave them. He knew, he was wise. He knew the politicians were going to get the big money from Big Pharma, Cory Booger, while you were talking about universal health care. And he snapped ahead of them. Until you get that big money out of big politics, there's nothing political. There's nothing that makes any sense. Nothing there will ever change. Somebody's talking about $15. $15! Hold on, what we got? $15. Do you think $15 an hour is a reality or another American pipe dream? Brother Augustine, I don't think anybody should make $15 an hour. I think everybody should make $0. I think it's another scam. They want people buying, and there are a lot of low-level corporations who want to continue selling houses for $250,000. They want to keep selling cars for $50,000. The only way you keep selling these low-level corporations is to give people money. That's what I think the minimum wage thing is about. You give people more money to prop up the system. It's like voting. It's the same thing. They don't want you to stop spending. They want to keep slavery alive. If a dollar is a representation of human labor, it's why slavery exists, modern slavery. It's why you can't go live your life, because you got to have a job. Then the currency system has to go away. So I don't believe in the minimum wage at all. I don't believe in money. I don't believe in slavery. It's the same thing. I don't believe in forced labor. Human beings need to be born and go live their lives, not be enslaved and trapped into industries that they don't like because they got to make money to live on a planet that they were born on. I think every human being was born on a planet. They got a right to live. They don't have any debts they got to pay. So they don't need $15 an hour. All they need to be is free. That's it. They need to end the plantation. So I don't believe in the minimum wage at all. I don't believe in wages. Like I said, everything could stop tomorrow. Currency could disappear tomorrow, and people would still go to the important jobs and work. Why? Because if it's an important job and it's got to get done, and somebody's going to do it. And that's just the fact. But they scare people. Like I said, they scare people and think, oh, it's going to collapse in anarchy, and people aren't going to do what they have to do to give their kids power in their house. People in the power industry, they're not going to go to work, and we won't have power. I'm like, what kind of adults do you? What kind of parents do you know? Do you know what I see? Parents? Oh my goodness, I didn't see parents do the craziest things for the kids. Of course, they're still going to go. They're gonna, the people who work for the water company gonna go because they like water. The people for the power plant company, the farmers are gonna still farm because a lot of them do it because they love doing it. The teachers gonna teach. The ones that's supposed to teach gonna teach. That's why I want to spend an hour on one comment, but I'm just saying that I don't believe in the minimum wage. I don't believe in these fantasy things, right? We need a paradigm shift, and we can't have a paradigm shift if we keep trying to support a system that needs to go away. Slavery needs to go away. Forced labor needs to go away. Kids being born, being trapped, having to work for billionaires, it needs to go away. Oh, thank you for sharing, Eric. Yeah, we do this all the time. It's a good rant. Oh, thank you. I try, but I got a lot of smart people around me, and they're kind of driving the conversation. A lot of these people, they don't believe what they're posting. Where the angry faces at? I don't see no angry faces. They don't believe what they're posting. What they do is they share for their friends to engage, and they'll ask a question that they ask their friend. I know how this works, y'all. They see half the time my friends, they see Eric, they don't, let's say, I can't read it. Eric, Laura, what they do is like they'll have a discussion with their friend, and their friend would be like, you can't say that, you're a racist, or you don't understand what the minimum wage is, or whatever. And then what they'll do, because they know that all of our friends here are like intellectuals. These people own it, these people, they got the facts and the data and the links and everything. And so they share it, and they see their friend come in, they'll ask a question that they ask their friend. And then everybody here will kind of do a loving swarm. It's not like a hard swarm. I don't see really more name calling and craziness, but a very mature swarm. And if you know how that old saying is, a prophet isn't sent to their own land. If they know their family and friends hear from somebody else, then they're more likely to give it a chance than when they say it. And that's why I think that a lot of what's happening. But yeah, I go out to the pages, I see their page. I see what it is, but I like it. Tag me. I have no interest in saying things that are true. Anyone watch Elon Musk's latest project, Neuralink, or something, brain interface technology? Plymmy K, I didn't watch it, but I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about how they're interfacing the human being with computers, right? But they got the bottleneck issue. He was talking about it in one of his lectures, but like they've already linked a couple human brains together to play chess, right? So great thing, great technology, something that we should do. Human beings have always been becoming cyborgs. It's not gonna stop. It either is something we're gonna use to benefit humanity or something we're not. And in an example, and the brother was talking about farming earlier, I'm a big time believer in automated farming because human beings can't grow plants as well as automation can at all, ever. They can't grow nutrition. They can do it on a small scale, but we got a lot of people on the planet to feed. And so use automation and software to grow in permaculture methodologies. But one farmer can grow the food for 7 billion people if he's interfaced in a way to do so. But I think the human brain can't keep up with the software. Last I heard, he had a big announcement that was coming out. So it's important to do these things, important to keep marching forward. But while the geniuses are creating these things, we need to be destabilizing this system that refuses to let any of it being used for anything decent. See, they're gonna hook people up to the drones so one person can go murder 1 million people and fly 50 drones at one time instead of driving 50 automated green robots growing food for everybody. Technology is important. We need to keep going forward in it. Don't fight the robots or automation. You need to fight your support for the system so we can have a paradigm shift. So yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah, I know what they're talking about. Kill a fly and 100 come to the funeral. Kill a fly and 100. Augustine, I'm not familiar with that saying. Just like one touting Venezuela being cited as another failing socialist country when in fact it has been allowed to be, and it's only 30% socialist, 70% capitalist elite. Few investigate the facts. Thank you, Miss T, for that. This fly, he ain't leave me alone. I know, Augustine, you try to say, kill one fly, 100 come to the funeral. We about to have some flies in tuxedo, some flies in suits in a minute. This fly keep messing with me. I believe in leave nature alone, but you know, at a certain point in time, Your nitrate's gonna get reclaimed. But absolutely, Miss T. I mean, Venezuela, it's not a socialist country. But see, they say it and they put it on TV and people believe that lie because it was on TV. So of course it had to be true because my president said it. Everything my president says, even though I don't know him from paint. And I'm gonna support the murder of people because he said it and I'm on this side and I'm tribal. To me, that's just as phony and fallacy as race and religion, is this identity politics and this crap. Venezuela is not a socialist nation, it's for capitalists. What happened is the socialists made some progression. They got Chavez in, he decided to give the oil to the people, and so they used the oil for the ecosystem. The actual human beings that live there, not for billionaires. And that's why America is been given the orders to destroy Venezuela, because some of the oil is being used. Well, I don't know if it's all, it might be all the oil. But the capitalists, the elite, they still are very powerful and they're all pissed off. They hated Chavez when he did it. And so they need to take that 30% back from the poor people and give it to the billionaires. Because they're a little higher on the hog, they're higher up in that plantation and they want people starving. That's how they make more money. And that's, as ugly it is, that's the real truth. The real truth is all about the Koch brothers and the oil. They want the oil. The oil from Venezuela, it works well with their refineries, and they got refineries that have to have that oil because of the certain purity it is. And so they bought that from the president. So there's no Operation Libertad and nothing Trump came up with. It's none of that crap. It's just billionaires want the oil. They don't want to share the resources from the ecosystem with the ecosystem. It's the same thing all over the world. Cronyism. Let me go back to Facebook. I'm going to see. Self-sustainability and individually helping neighbors, friends, etc. would eliminate the need for us needing representation in government, etc. to acquire our needs. That's precisely it, Jennifer. And that's it. That's it. Build community, work together, plant seeds, get your perennials in. When people can take care of each other and they can take care of themselves and they're building a community, they could care less about what government's lying about. But people who are dependent on the water, the power, the drugs, and they're sick because they're not eating nutritious food, because they're not growing it, they need the medicine, they need the CVS and the Walgreens, they need the damn gas stations. Everybody should be driving electric cars. Like, I have a mandate. I'm carpooling right now because I've decided my very next car is going to be an electric car, period. That's it. I'm not playing no more. Why? Because I want solar panels and wind vanes powering my car. My commute's less than 50 miles, so I know I can do that on an electric car. You know, it's fun to speak about it. It's something else to do something about it. And we need to be doers. We all need to be living that. We all need to be pushing to live more sustainably, whether it's food, water, power, car, commute, reducing the amount of support we have for this system. All right, I said I was gonna try to read as many comments as I can, so I'm gonna try to keep it keep my rant to 30 seconds if possible. Let me see. I support third parties, the Green Party, as real solutions that return to power back to the people and the planet. Jane, I voted Green last time around. For me, it was a mistake now that I've thought about it. Now I've thought about it, we haven't developed a system that will let the Green Party do anything. The billionaires who bought, if they can run the DNC and the GOP, buying the Green Party is no big deal. I mean, that's just, you know, we need to change the system. We need a systematic walk away. We need people to be united. And the other thing about people being united and people not voting is when you unite with people for a common cause like sovereignty and free will against corporation, you actually develop relationships. And that actually would mean that those parties probably will never come back. If people get together and fight for free will and one law sovereignty and leave each other alone, then we got something. We actually agree a lot, Gerard. We actually agree a lot, Gerard. I just differ on what we should be doing right now. We make this change us. Well, Sean, that's what I'm saying, that we're not in opposition. We are not in opposition at all. I have no issue with the Bernie and the AOC and all the voters. I just disagree with the method. And what Sean is saying, which I 100% agree with, everybody needs to really think about who is on their side. Just because someone disagrees with the approach, it does not mean they're not on your side. You are in a foxhole. Understand this. We are literally at war with massive corporations that run the world. They create a fantasy picture that nations exist, and they don't. They own big interest in most, if not all, nations that have continents with resources that they need for their greed. you're in a foxhole against them. You're in a foxhole against them. And you were the dumbest person on the planet if you're shooting at somebody in the foxhole. Brother Sean and I in the foxhole. We just disagree on the exact precise place to shoot. He's shooting in that direction, I'm shooting this way, but there's no confusion that we are in the same foxhole. That's what I'm saying. And this is, because I spot on agree with him. I just think that the root cause is what we focus most attention on. A bunch of new people in here today. Welcome. Yes, there are, Yvonne. And thank you for welcoming the new people. This is not a place of aggression and fighting and being stupid and immature. It's a place to talk about real solutions where adults and intellectuals with facts can actually have discussions without all the nonsense, the emotions, and the personal crap you get everywhere else. I gotta try to move down faster to read more comments. Is 5G required to create alien holograms? Ever interesting question. Is 5G required to create alien holograms? I'm trying to piece together the technology, and while very little is released that we know that they can do, I don't know of any application, or if somebody has a link, post something. I haven't read anything on that. I mean, mostly if you're trying to link together like Project Bluebeam and 5G being needed. I mean, the big benefit for 5G in the police state in maintaining us, controlling us, is knowing where we are, right? Like when you have the 5G grid set up, the wavelengths are like 2 inches apart. So they can see through the walls, they can see through your house, they can actually put together a picture of where everybody is at all times. And so to me, it's more of a surveillance tool. I mean, I know it's going to create damage and problems in healthcare and cancer and all the other stuff that the doctors say. Because 4G is cancerous, 5G is 4G times like 100 or something like that, because you're not going from 4.6 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz, but you're going from 4.6 gigahertz to 60, right? So it's not really 5G, it's 60G. So I don't know, but we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. Which is why I always go back, Deborah, to the solution of no secrets in government corporations. If they don't have secrets, we would know that. Is Eisenhower granddaughter whistleblower? Oh, is she a whistleblower? She's supposed to be, Debbie. I think I watched one thing from her. Anybody who's speaking against the system is someone people should listen to. Every now and then you have somebody who steps out the cut and they act how they're not supposed to, and the system takes them out. Kind of like how, one of the Rothschilds die last week or something, was murdered, was found like hanging or something. Did anybody do any research on that? And the other thing on 5G I'll say is the elites want 5G, so I don't. That's just really what it comes down to. I don't see any benefit for humanity anywhere, and lightning fast internet doesn't help with anything. I mean, it could help with swarming drones and having like hospital drones when a car accidents happen. Having drones fly out to the location, flying doctors or nurses or EMTs immediately there, spraying water, putting the fire out, bringing the equipment. You could use 5G for something human, but that's not what they're using it for. They have no interest. They're not even making robots to help people. They only make robots to murder people. And all the politicians are taking money from Lockheed and Raytheon and all these corporations, so you keep voting for them, you're not going to get any hospital robots. You're not going to be saving children trapped in burning cars on American highways that aren't getting repaired. Because that's what happens when you vote for people who are war criminals, who are always taking big money from these war industries. Yeah, that's a personal problem. I'm looking for alternative sugar sources. I'm addicted to sugar drinks. Okay, David, that's easy, brother. If I got a minute, I'll go show you my stevia. I got tons of stevia, bro. You need stevia. Grow your own stevia, though. Don't buy that crap in the grocery store. The crap in the grocery store, they grind up the stem, which is bitter. You just want the leaves. Plus, you want it organic. You want it natural, and it's just an easy plant to grow. If you don't have a green thumb, grow stevia. It's like growing basil. You can actually, if you don't live in a warm climate, you can actually grow it in a windowsill, southern-facing windowsill in the winter. I have stevia plants that I've had for damn near 4 years. Same plant, instead of buying new ones each year around. But stevia is a great one. You can dry it easily, and I'm about to get this fly. Y'all about to see me doing some non-hippie things, man. This fly, well, I don't know what he wants with me. Look at that. You on my shirt, bastard. Now see, I can't clap. See, he knows he's already evolved and learned how I catch him. You always clap in front of him. It's how you catch a politician or a political party. But sometimes you're lucky and you can spot him like that, but that's not going to do it. Shoot fly. Shoot fly. We trying to save your planet, man. When we die, you going to die too, probably, because there won't be no dung around and you won't be able to land in that stuff and spread it and help everybody's immune system. Depopulation is a huge problem. It is a huge problem, David, because the food prices are going up and the politicians aren't doing anything about it. They're spraying more neonics. They're taking money from the chemical companies, spraying more neonics in the environment, more of the pesticides. You know, they're doing more of the problems while people think they're the solutions. Yes, Gerard, the native Hawaiians understood hyena, that which feeds itself. Okay, so that's like ecosystem type stuff. Everything is ecosystem. You don't take care of your ecosystem, you die. And if you land on my laptop again, you try and land on my coffee, you're gonna die too. This fly. Man, I'm trying to all right. Now see, he's facing south. He's on the cord, and he's looking at the Federal Reserve. He's gonna take money from the Federal Reserve. This is gonna be a hard one because he's kind of facing. I'm not watching a guy about to kill a fly on TV. Always look where he's going. He's going south. We clamped south, and we did not get him again. So sorry. Actually, wounded him. Oh, he's talking. I'm sorry. It's the art of war, people. Always look where your enemy's going. When I hear stevia, I always think chemical. Yeah, I know, David, because the stevia in the grocery store, you don't know what it is. I think it's processed. It's white. Stevia actually isn't white. It comes from a plant. It's green. If it's white in the store, it's probably not stevia. They probably added a bunch of crap in there. It's fake in every special effects person from that era will tell you so. Kubrick did it. Okay, Patricia, thank you. I'm not sure what that is. Anyone have a good tea suggestion? Feel free to DM. I had some green tea yesterday, David. I like green tea. It's disgusting and nasty, but I had some sort of a histamine thing going on. I was sitting by a fan, and weather's been doing crazy stuff here, so I think I took in some pollen or something, and so I had to drink some green tea. Stevia tea is good also. I now believe it was fabricated, and then they lost the moon landing technology. Oops. What was that about, Trish? Yeah, I remember somebody posted on that. They're saying that they lost the moon landing technology, so they got to recreate it or something stupid like that. Yeah, that is questionable. That is questionable. But that's interesting. I don't know anything about that. I thought that I kind of think they went to the moon. Maybe they didn't go on what they said they went on, right? Because the most convincing thing from the people who say the landing was fake was a rocket engineer. He said, I made the rockets. That rocket didn't. I listened to the whistleblowers who worked on the stuff. I made the rocket. That's my damn rocket. He said that rocket did not go to the moon. I'm trying to tell you right now, it had been burned, fired, and blood and ashes on the landing pad, the launch pad. That rocket did not go to the moon. And that was the most convincing thing that he said. That's when I started leaning toward maybe the moon landing was fake. But maybe just what it was, Trish, is they just faked it with the technology. Maybe they actually, because when did we go to the moon? Was it the 60s? And when did we steal all the Die Glocke and all that technology from the Germans? We brought over the V2 rocket people and all of the psychopathic Dr. Medlev types and gave them nice big houses and mansions in America, took care of them, gave them nice lives, and they had pretty wives and they had kids and family. And yeah, America did all of that. Yes, it is. Somebody post the name of the operation. But so if we did that in the 40s and we brought over some secret technology the Russians got from Berlin and we got, then it would make sense that maybe within 20 years we figured out how to use it. And maybe they use that to go to the moon. They just don't want to share with the rest of the world what they use to go to the moon. And so they're not going to say, hey, here's the moon landing tech, we're going back on it, because they got to bring in the new 20-some-year-old engineers to work on the technology, get ready for the moon landing. And so maybe that's what it is. They just didn't go on what they said they went on. But I think they did go to the moon. I just know they lied about most of it, because they couldn't actually show the people what was actually up there. Area 51, Trish, I don't think there's anything there anymore. NASA said that they lost the technology to go to the moon. Where did it go? Did they look under the seat cushions? Look under the couch cushions. That's NASA for you. Rebecca, that's how you know people lie. It's like when you watch your kid and you start asking kids questions, they start doing that hemming and hawing. Like, who ate the cookies? Who ate the cookies? I went to work. I told you I was gone for 30 minutes, and I'm back. I had to get my briefcase. I'm back, and the cookie jar is empty. Who ate the cookies? And your kid's kind of like, how many cookies was in that jar when you left? They don't ask me how many cookies was in the jar. Who ate the cookies? What cookie jar? Well, I don't see no cookie. You mean that cookie jar right there with that cookies and oats in there? When your kids start hemming and hawing, then you know they're lying. So I don't know what NASA's lying about exactly. The whistleblowers will tell you, but we did not use those rockets to go to the moon. I tend to believe poor people. I have a rule of thumb, Rebecca. I will always believe poor people over the people who run these empires. I always will. The people who run these empires are proven liars. So maybe I need to take a neutral stance on the moon landing thing. I think that we went there. I think that we went there because that's what elites do. They love colonization. They always go to the new land to see who they can kill and rob and what they can get to use to control us and kill other people. So I'm pretty sure we went. But, the landing on a calculator, computer, landing on a computer that had less computing power than a modern calculator or a calculator from 20 years ago, that's kind of a stretch. I once watched a live satellite landing on the moon from the Republic of China that went off, of course, and landed in an area they were not allocated to. There were structures on the moon. I have not been able to find that clip. It's been over 3 years ago at least, but yes, it confirms in my mind that what Gerard's saying about what they didn't want us to know. Well, right, Debbie, and so a lot of people said it. A lot of people came out. A lot of people came out and said it. And they when you have 1,000 people that say NASA's lying, I kind of think NASA's lying. That's another good reason not to vote. We don't know what's true. We can't make good decisions. Misinformation is the system's goal. Real events, smokescreen, and misdirection. UFOs were used in this way. Hide clandestine programs. They do the same with fake patent applications too. And I agree with that too, Beaufont. Absolutely. There's no question that they played the alien narrative to the high secret technology. No question about that at all. They play us in every way they can, but too many whistleblowers and common folk have come forward and said that, the whole Roswell thing, that was real. Too many Russians came forward and said, there are crashes over here. We got those too. Too many, most of the world's governments released their alien files, which I think mostly all were true because there were poor people seeing these things. But then they take something that's truthful and they'll use it against us. Where this whole idea, because once they get people believing and knowing that we're not alone in the universe, then that's how they can get people to believe that the aliens are coming to attack us. So that's what I think it is. I think it's just control of the narrative. They take what's true and they alter it for their own power. But that's another way to do it right there. Geoengineering may be what extincts humanity this time around. Rebecca, I would lean that way as well. I'm kind of out on the World War III thing. I don't think that our elites want to destroy the planet. They just want to murder as many people as possible so they don't have to take care of them when they use robots to do all the heavy lifting and automation. I think it's probably going to be a rogue country, rogue billionaire with some geoengineering effort that starts some sort of a collapse on Earth, some sort of ecosystem, and ecosystem after some sort of chain reaction creates, and it kills off just the wrong species. It'll be something that we didn't think we knew or we needed. It'll be like a mosquito. Mosquitoes provide something to the ecosystem we're unaware of, and we kill off the mosquitoes because we're breeding genetically modified mosquitoes and releasing them in Florida. And once we kill off the mosquito population, and the whole planet collapses. I think it is going to be something more geoengineering. It's going to be something that we do with our stupid technology because we actually don't monitor the people. And that's the whole why billionaires and big corporations and governments cannot have any secrets, because they now are tampering. They're tampering with global human life, and they're they have access and the ability for just a very small few people to murder 7 billion people on accident. I don't think it'll be intentional, like the whole system is made up of psychopaths, but I think it'll be an accidental thing that we just cannot get our hands back around. That's what Elon talks about, is that we need to become a 2-planet species, because now we have so much power in the hands of a few that all you need is one Lex Luthor or just one real stupid person, and they end it all for everybody else. All these satellites people talk about, the cell towers, don't NASA actually put and use those satellites in space? Yeah, I heard something about that, Linda. They have like 5G satellites or something. I haven't done too much looking into that. I know somebody here probably has. Military want enlistment age to change from 18 to 16 as recruitment drops. Yeah, Augustine, and I like it. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. But I think you need to have a voter draft. For the right to vote, you have to enlist yourself to go to war. And I think kids as young as 16 should be like, all right, now maybe not. Kids don't know any better. I think the draft age needs to be 26. It needs to be after you have a frontal lobe. But I think everybody who wants to vote, if you want to vote for a system that's killing people, then you got to be willing to go do some killing yourself. I'm okay with the draft, Augustine. I think the draft is a good idea. I think when poor people stop doing the fighting for the middle class, then they stop voting. I think if the middle class knew that they had to go fight in the wars and they're not protected from it, if the middle class knew that they had to go shoot children and have bombs lobbed at them, I think they'd reconsider voting for a system that requires endless war. I think that's a good idea. I just don't think the kids should be included. Kids need to be left alone till they're 26. Until then, until they got that frontal lobe and enough information and make good decisions, then I think the adults that are keeping all of this up, they need to be the ones to do the fighting. 5G allows the big boys to extract the highest profit from the poor by categorizing everyone and everything, supply and demand, and marketing control. Because Miss T, you read the what's the name of that not the essay. It was found on that airplane. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. If you didn't read that, that's your entry level document. You need to definitely read that. Bang! Almost nope, didn't get him. Yep, I try to get out and water before your broadcast starts, Gerard. Yeah, I have to every morning, Deborah. It's been ridiculous. It's been so hot here. Heat index was like 110 yesterday. Horrible. I don't know what's going to be today. It's hot. Pot's drying out everywhere. But I'm still transplanting. I didn't have a choice. I got to keep things going. I got me some maple seeds. I had to. I soaked them yesterday, and I had to. I put them in the fridge today because I got to stratify them. They got to go through their cold cycle. And what else was I planting? I had to do some planting yesterday in 110 degree heat because I was. What is that? The Kentucky coffee tree. I already mentioned that when I was doing that. How about the men that recognize a woman's work is never done in a family home? It's not cavemen, it's natural to allow the women and the nurture of the family. Yeah, so Debbie, my position on all of that, right? It's not even a gender thing. It is you do what you love doing. Right? Like everybody has a passion, and some people's passion is raising kids. Some people's passion is domestic engineering. Some people's passion are those things. Like, we need a world where people can do the things they're passionate about. Because I think if you got a passion for kids and like homemaking, there's a reason. All of this is stitched together. Like, I was listening to his name, Bruce Lipton. Bruce Lipton was on Coast to Coast the other night. I was listening to him, and he was kind of talking about how if you watch the amoebas and cellular organisms, like he was the one who did that study into how cells have antennas and they take in external stimuli from the environment, kind of like epigenetics, but not really, and that we're all more being driven than anything else. and we're all giving a role, like everything, all the cells have a role and the environment creates that role, and you kind of play it up into modern society that every human being has a role and everybody has the passions they do for good reasons. Like, Debbie, I can't explain why I like software and automation and robots. I can't. I love doing it. I can't explain. I've been doing it since I was 7 years old, and I think the environment gets people to fill in certain gaps, and I believe that as above, so below. And so on the cellular level, everything's got a job on this level. So the idea that anybody tells you that being a woman is going into a workplace, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the stupidest thing. Number one, nobody should be in the workplace. Nobody should be slaves. Nobody should be forced to do anything. We have the technology where we don't need to do that. We need to leave everybody alone and let them go off and live their lives and become what they're supposed to for the ecosystem. Either the things that we can't see and know control Earth, or billionaires do. And right now, billionaires do. Something co-opted the signal is how Bruce Lipton put it. Something co-opted that signal that controls us at a cellular level. And I'm not going to convince you I know completely what he's talking about, but in terms of humans and sociology, I see that. People are born and they have passions to do certain things, and they won't do it. You know, you have a lot of women who should be homemakers. You have a lot of men, but they can't do it because they're born into debt. They're born into debt through the central banking system, and they got to pay it off before they die. And so everyone gets pushed into the workforce, and it's obvious nobody's raising the kids. Like, I am a big proponent, and mom and dad should both be home. This is stupid. We need to stop this. We're destroying the next generation by sending people off to work for billionaires so they can put food on the table. That's dumb. Robots can do that. Is there really men or women like that? Deborah, I think we missed that. I'm way up in comments. I'm trying to read as many comments as I can. I probably got to skip down a little bit. I'm trying to go faster. Yes, you are, Gerardi. You're telling them not to vote. No, I'm not, Rebecca. No, I'm not telling them. I don't tell people not to vote. I tell people that there are consequences and repercussions for everything that we do. That's what I tell people. It's like how people ask you, Rebecca, they'll ask you, oh, should I date this person? Should I get married to this person? Should I divorce this person? My role is, I don't want to tell you nothing. I don't want to tell you, I'll tell you what I think, but then you need to make your own decision. I don't want to tell nobody because I could be wrong. I don't think that freeing the planet is wrong. I don't think ending the system that's murdering people is wrong, but people got to make their own decisions. But that's a part of, I think, sovereignty and not telling other people what to do. You know, we're all in the same foxhole and we're shooting. I think, okay, here's an example, Rebecca. I'm suggesting to people that ain't nobody in that bush. So somebody's in the thing and they're about to vote for Biden and they're shooting in the bush. And I'm like, hey, you know, we got limited ammo. We're in the same foxhole. The corporations are going to murder us. We probably shouldn't shoot at the ghosts as just the ghosts in that bush. You're not really shooting in the right. You probably should shoot over here with the Federal Reserve. You probably should shoot logistically where you see the trucks coming that are bringing the oil, that are bringing the gasoline, that are bringing food for the troops. Like logistically, and that's how wars are always fought. If you can break the logistics of the other army, then they collapse. Right? So we don't need to know who's in the bush. I don't need Biden, AOC, Bernie, anything to get any of these projects, which I think are, a lot of them are fake and phony. Shooting in the bush at the ghosts, the fog of war. You don't ever shoot into the fog of war. Look at the logistics. Like, wait a minute, there's a Federal Reserve. They're printing the money. This is the fuel behind all the corporations that are massive, that mid-sized corporations can't take on, that mom and pop shops got to deal with. How about we take out their printing of the money, let all the big corporations collapse? It'll hurt, but it means we break the logistics of the foe that's already waging these silent weapons of quiet wars against us. You know, the corporations that are poisoning the water and the food and the air and keeping human beings locked into forced labor. The corporations, this is like the prison system. Like where I was talking to, like I mentioned, I was talking to your brother this weekend. And they were talking about the politicians who take money from the big incarceration, the private prisons. And I told him my point is you don't actually know who takes money from these prisons. You have no idea who's behind mass incarceration. Because you got forced labor slavery, which is what we're all in. Then you got real slavery, which is the prison industrial complex. People who never hurt anybody in their life. Most people in prison are peaceful people. They've never done anything to anybody. They had a plant. They're peaceful people, and it's criminal that you actually have them in prison, especially for something that's legal right now that other people are doing, but the politicians are making money on it because they're legalizing these cannabis and all these programs. But you have no idea who's taking money from the prison system because you have no idea who's making money from the mattresses, right? You have corporations making mattresses and the springs and the cotton. You have corporations who are making the nuts and the bolts. You have corporations who are making the floor for these prisons. You have corporations who are growing the food and the corn. You have corporations, and they're all sending money to these politicians, right? And the politicians, half the time, you can't tell me that they don't know. I think they know. They know that corporation that's giving them money to kind of keep writing more laws to criminalize more Americans so they can make more money. I think they know. It's a system that has to fall. See, I don't know. I don't tell people not to vote, Rebecca. I try to, as best as possible, say, listen, I'm a straight here. Why? Because the fog of war has got me jacked up. I don't know who's fighting the deep state. I don't know who's doing this and who really means that and that. They're paid to lie to us. They're all puppets. Let's take out the logistics and the fog goes away, right? Because if you shoot the logistics, if you shoot the trucks that's bringing in the fog, then the landscape is clear, the battlefield's clear, and then you can actually see where everybody's at. That's what I'm saying. And if people agree, and if it makes sense to them, then but that's how we have to work. We have to work as a hive. We can't tell each other what to do. That's what got us in this mess to begin with, thinking that we were right and we could get together with a bunch of other people, force other people to do what we want them to do. You know, there's no difference between pulling a trigger and a lever. It's still violence when you're forcing other people. It's like I said, like this protesting thing. I'm not interested in protesting. I have no interest. When you show me a protest where everybody's showing up, I'll be there. Short of that, I really don't care. I'm into gang violence. You getting together with a bunch of other people on something that others don't agree with. When you have a real democracy, a real democratic protest where you talk to everybody and you get everybody's experience and you handle all points, then you got a real solution. Until then, you're just forcing other people. You're mob violence. You're just getting together with other people to force other people to take away their sovereignty and their free will. And that, to me, is how the world got this way. Is you allying up against other poor people and not the system, which takes everybody's freedom. Pushing minimum wage is another scam. It absolutely is, Ivan, because it's just supporting of the system. All right, now I'm starting to get down. Let me see. Flight for survival is very scary. It is, and we are in survival mode, Sandy, and it should be scary because we're creating a lot of children in survival mode. Oh, Eric, you tagged somebody. That's what I'm saying. That's how it works. People will listen to other people. People will listen to a stranger before they will listen to you. Because they know you, Eric. They know everything that you know. It's not possible for you to, it's like a husband-wife thing. It's set up, boyfriend-girlfriend. They've been together a long time. They finish a sentence for you, and then after a while, you realize they start getting it wrong. Like, no, you don't ever know everything I know. You don't go where I know. You don't. But it's a human condition thing. Premonition will not communicate through voice, but through thoughts shared. And the Jetson car is coming. Lots of laughter, cray, thought from that yesterday. Sandy, and I hope that's the future, but we have to start using technology for people, not against people. Driving electric car isn't a solution until they come with better batteries. Well, they do come with great batteries, Ivana. The best one, the one I love right now, I guess I have to promote them, is the Chevy Volt. The Chevy Volt, I believe it gets up to 50 miles on a charge now. And so if your commute is 25 miles or less, it means that you're going back to work on pennies. You know, like, I think that's a great solution. It's not, I mean, hooking it up to the house, like, that's better than driving a gasoline car. You know, it's better, but a lot of the power industry still run with gasoline. You know, it's a first step. Next step, get some solar panels, get a wind vane, get a hydro generator, get whatever you can to get off grid. Then once you have that, now you're charging your car, even if it's only 50% of the charge is coming from a green energy. You know, we can't wait for the government to do this. We have to go do this now. We got to make those decisions ourselves. Yeah, they are cute, Patricia, and they're awesome on the inside. You get on the inside, my friend had one that was 8 years ago. First time I saw it, and the inside, it looked like a cockpit. It looked like a jet cockpit with all kind of electronic stuff everywhere. It looked awesome, but the batteries get better every single day. And the other thing, Ivana, on that is that so when you buy it, that's a vote. Everything is voting. When you buy that, you're voting for that company. Not that Chevy's a good company, but they damn sure got some great technology when it comes to that. And they seem to have one of the best batteries that competes only with Tesla, which I think comes in at around $70,000. I have no interest in driving a $70,000 car. Is that you're helping the company that makes the battery, right? You're helping the company that's making the car, which is driving down the price. So people are buying cars, then they should, and this is why I have this requirement, is that they should buy the cars at least from a company that's trying to do the right thing. Like all corporations, they all have those negative externalities. None of them are profitable. They're all destroying the planet. But some might have a few departments that are going the right direction or trying to, and we need to, while we keep money in place, reward those who are trying to go the right direction. Besides the fact when zombie apocalypse comes, that means you're still driving. That's the most important thing, right? Is when the currency collapses, when they're ready to pull that old trick, this time under a new name, and they collapse the currency. When they do that, you'll still be driving. Very important. That's probably a good idea. Apartment dwellers with no way to charge an electric car have a problem there. They do, Patricia, unless they figure out the routes, right? Like there are a lot of charging stations that are opening up. So if you live in an apartment, you just find a charging station that's not too far from your job. And then, I don't know, try to get a ride. Take a Uber. Maybe take a Uber. I don't know. If you've got a charging station, take a bus. But the point is, if the majority of your commute is done electrically, I think you can leave your car there and charge it, maybe while it's at work. I don't know, maybe. But I think there are a lot of solutions. Now it's time for people to be creative, but also now it's time to start making that plan to get out of the city. Not a doomsday prepper. I am a history this always happeneder. Right? You need to find land in the country. You need to start moving. Small community is where it's at. It is, Brother Sean. Small community and people working together. Save the world, drive a clunker car. She lives in Seattle. I know, when they do that, they'll drop that big, massive SUVs going to climate change protests. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Let me see. We've been developing unconscious killing machines using violent video games for decades now. Murder has become a competitive hobby. Yeah, unfortunately, it has, Miss T. We've normalized it. We've normalized killing. When's the last time you've seen rape on TV? No, rarely it is. Well, okay, I have to admit, I really don't watch the news, but I'm making a guess. I don't hear people talking about it and posting about it. Like, it's so normalized, nobody even talks about it. Like, people are so used to the violent world, it's not a big thing, and this is why voting is so dangerous, right? It's become so normal to kill people. And it's just, it's normal. It's what we do. We murder people and we steal their countries. We blow up buildings with children and bury them under rubble. That's just a normal thing. Just keep voting for it. You know, this is just how the world is. And I was like, no, it's not how the world is. That's what psychopaths are trying to normalize. There were a time where we weren't this violent. You know, but we're raising kids on these violent video games. They got so many war video games. It's insanity, but they're normalizing the monsters they want us to become. Like, the real monsters on Earth never were the dinosaurs. The real monsters were the humans. And you only have monsters if you have a lot of little monsters behind a big monster supporting them. The last time I played Monopoly, I sold my hotels and houses. Then I filed bankruptcy. I thought I had won, but then I remembered that the only winners were the ones who don't pay. Or the only winners are the ones who don't pay. Right. Stacy, who wins every game of Monopoly? The banks. Every single game. No one else wins. The banks win every game. As long as they print the money, they don't have to do anything. They actually own all the properties. When you close on a property, it goes back to the bank. They actually don't do anything. Money's not real. They literally print it out of thin air. Those are the real issues. They're lazy. They have no contribution to society. The real, not the upper class. We're talking about the real elites. They contribute absolutely nothing. 5G is required for 5 senses inside the matrix. For 5 senses inside the matrix. Okay. Good with that. Good with that. Rothschild's ex-wife. Oh, ooh, was it Mary? Ooh, what does she know? That's a good. So she wasn't actually a Rothschild. She married in and she divorced. Number one, I don't know why anybody would divorce somebody who's a Rothschild, some of the most powerful people on this planet. There's something there. She didn't probably saw too much. She went to too many family meetings and barbecues, and she didn't heard the wrong things, and now she shows up dead. And some people will call that a coincidence. I don't believe in any coincidences. I don't believe in any coincidence at all. Yes, Sarah Steele, Edward Snowden was amazing. He did the right thing. He did his human thing. He came out to cut and said, they're lying to you. They're breaking the law. They're watching everybody. And he left. He's a hero. To me, in my book, he is a hero. And anyone calling him a traitor, there's something really wrong with how your brain works. That man literally said there are people spying on you. That man literally said that there are people who have naked pictures of your kids. The biggest pedophile on the planet is the American government. They got gigabytes of databases of naked people, because the video cameras are never off and the cameras are always taking pictures. They're pedophiles. These are sick bastards. The whole thing needs to go away. That's not the act of a traitor. That's the act of somebody who's fighting pedophilia and stalking psychopathic, paranoid government that would create these organizations. We love your rants, Gerard. Keep us thinking in a cage. When you go out on a tangent, I do, Trish, but I'm trying to just do comments, and I get carried away. I care too much. That's my problem, Trish. I get carried away when somebody has a good comment. 1969, yes, Operation Paperclip. Thank you. And when we brought over all the right, they ran NASA. Exactly, Patricia and Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you for posting that. This is what I'm saying. Like, when you don't have to. There's so much. Oh my gosh, there's so much. And this is why a rant could go on for a minute. There's so much. You can't do this alone. There's no way I could do this without all these people. I can't remember all of this. I don't remember all the operations, all the lies, all the treason, all the whistleblowers, all the corruption, it's just too much. All the dates. You need people around you who understand, and they have a better memory retention than what I do. That's the only way it works. Operation Paperclip, yes, Werner von Braun, Jane, everybody's got it. And this is what people need to think about. You know, a government that used to operate this way isn't magically going to stop. Right? Power concedes nothing, but by force. You have to force it to stop. America's had no reason to stop. The same reason the politicians have no reason to do anything for America, because people are still voting, right? So a government that was willing to take the collective learned knowledge of genocidal maniacs from the Nazi Party, from World War, what was the guy's name? Dr. Mengele, whatever his name is. You know, if they're willing to do that, of course, then it makes sense that they're genociding people in Yemen. It's just the system requires it. We are killing off the bees. Yes, we are, Debbie. And when the bees go, we go. Or we're raising the price of food. I mean, imagine this. Imagine if you were a big-time investor. You had trillions of dollars, because the trillionaires are real. You'd invest in robotic bees. Like people, I just like, who said that? Debbie? This is why it's funny to me. People are cheering about, yeah, robotic bees are gonna save us. They're gonna save us. Keep spraying neonics. They don't seem to get it. Like, they're spraying the neonics because that makes profit, and they're investing in the robotic bees. Why? Because guess what? I mean, why is Monsanto poisoning all the land, poisoning all the water, creating genetically modified seeds? Because those who control the food control the people. And if you control the robotic bees and you kill off all the bees, what will you get for that? Trillions, and control of the human population, because you own robotic bees. And I'm just like, this is really stupid. Like, nobody sees what's happening. They're literally outsourcing the pollinator. They're literally doing, and they're like, this is a good idea. You know, they make money poisoning and killing off the bees. That's why I don't think it's I think it was a side effect. I don't think they intended to kill the bees, but they're buying the politicians to keep spraying it. You can't go to Home Depot without that little tag that says, "We proudly use neonics," or whatever the hell these monsters say. And they're killing the bees because whoever makes the robotic bee now owns a larger swath of the population of America. Now they can raise food prices wherever they want. They could literally go in a database. What Miss T was talking, I think Miss T said that, right? Then they want all the data points. They want all the data because they could literally go into a machine once they have all of that data. They got 5G. They got the road because they have 5G. You can have robotic bees. You got all that data in the database. You can set the price of bread. You can set the price of Snicker bars. You can set the price of anything. And then imagine what you can do with the stock market. Imagine what you do for controlling the population in areas where dissonance takes up, like Texas. Yeah, Texas got guns, but damn it, if they can't have rain, if they don't have rain, and you can set the price of food beyond what they can afford, you literally can control the human population. And to me, it's not even conspiracy theory, it's just a business plan. And that's what kings have always done. They want to control the people. And you get people who are clapped for their own control, who will keep voting for their own control, then this makes sense. If they're rolling out 5G, they're going to keep pushing. That's what I think was going on with robotic bees. And anyone who hasn't watched that episode of Black Mirror that had the robotic pollinating bees, you need to watch that. That was a hint. You need to watch that. That's a documentary. And 1984 was not supposed to be an instruction manual, and neither was that. The draft is human trafficking. It is. It absolutely, Rebecca. So let me clarify. I mean, I don't believe in a draft. I don't even believe in violence. I don't believe in telling what people. I don't believe in voting violence and ganging up against your neighbor instead of talking to your neighbor and solving the problem like an adult. I don't believe in that. But what I'm saying is that when people have to actually do the things that they're cheering for, that they're clapping for, that they got bumper sticker in their cars for, then they're less likely to do it blindly. And if people have to go fight in the wars that their peaceful politicians are voting for and taking money from Raytheon, then I think they'll think twice. That's what I'm saying. I'm not for a draft at all. Any abuse of labor, forcing human beings to do something, that's slavery. The draft is absolutely slavery. But people will clap for it because they think the fight is for America. That's what the allegiance will do to you. The real problem is detachment from ourselves, detachment from each other, detachment from the natural environment that sustains us. Absolutely, Brother Kevin, somebody said that at the top. Absolutely, spot on. There are no real heroes, no cheap list, there are no heroes, and nobody's coming to save us. We gotta save ourselves. P.S. I did something similar at 15 years of age here in the dead of winter on the coast of Maine. Wonderful moments and reflections. Thank you, Ms. T. Makes you ponder what's important, and we need to ponder what's important. We need to focus on the priorities. Focus on the priorities. All is precious. Yep. All life is precious, Miss T. And I like Martin Luther King saying where he said, "Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere." That should tell you everything you need to think about when it comes to voting. If somebody's being bombed somewhere, people are being bombed everywhere. If one child is starving everywhere, then you're supposed to proceed like your children are being starved. When people start thinking like that, we won't have these problems. But that's why we were told to be stewards of the planet, not bastards of it. Empower the powerless, not the powerful. Exactly. Thank you, Courtney. That's what you need to do. We need to look at people who don't have a voice and be a voice for them. People who don't have power and try to help them. I listen to them. People without power, they tend to be very indoctrinated and angry, and rightfully so they should be. They should be joining the MS-13s and the gangs and the skinheads and the Klan and the Bloods and Crips, because those people, they were shown a world of hate, and that's what they were supposed to become. Tesla also has a major design flaws. Google, Tesla, and Wompy Wheel. What the hell is a Wompy Wheel? And major design flaws. Google, Tesla, and Wompy. Oh, Tesla, right. Well, Tesla was the, I thought you were Nikola Tesla. Yeah, Tesla had the, they made the record for the something about the worst car. What was it? What award did they win? They won the record for like the most problematic car in America or something crazy like that. Yeah, I'm not paying 70 grand for I'm not paying 70 grand for a car anyway. Cars should cost $7. Any car that's beyond $7 is too expensive. So I buy all used cars. I don't buy new cars. I've literally had people say that exact crap to me. What exact crap? Courtney? Oh, I'm way up in comments. Nothing we can do. Carry on. Oh, you mean in terms of the apathy in voting? Yeah, people are this is the best we can do. We're going to keep voting for rape and war and murder and weapons trafficking and endless war. It's the best we can do. That's the best you can do. You need to die now. Not everybody. Not you, everybody. The whole planet. That's why I'm an asteroid. I do the asteroid dance. Some of y'all do the rain dance. I do the asteroid. If this is the best we can do, we should get wiped out now. Let the planet go ahead and restart over. I agree with you. I think Edward Snowden is a hero. He gave up his comfortable life to live on the run. Yes, he did, Sarah. And I think he might have become a little bit of a superstar in Russia, maybe. But the reality is he gave up everything he knew for us. Imagine it. Martin Luther King, everything he knew for us. John Lennon, everything he knew for us. Manning. Is Manning out of prison yet? Manning got her back in prison for us. All of these whistleblowers doing things for us. And what are we doing? Voting for the system that killed them or is still oppressing them. While Martin Luther King's killer is still running free, chilling. Mechanic, he's probably retired now, living a good life. Never seen the inside of the prison. And the whole sniper team, they say they know all the names of there was a Marine sniper team that assisted them. They all live in Latin America. They all left the country. Gone. Chilling. Chilling. That was on us. We did nothing about it, and we're still doing nothing about it. What would be a good thing to invest in to help our future? Deborah, I would say anything. That's such a difficult thing. Oh, no, it's not. I got it. I was thinking about investment like Wall Street. The best thing to invest in for the future is each other. That's it, Deborah. Each other completely. The best thing to invest in the future is humanity. Invest in each other. Grow food for each other. Do kind things for each other. Building community. It's not a cliche. That's the best thing for humans to invest in is humanity. Damn sure not political parties. Damn sure not these big corporations that are poisoning us and destroying the planet. Look at that. I did almost every damn comment, didn't I? That means I got to get out of here. Y'all ain't got nothing else to say. Good. I got work to do. I got slavery to do. Now, let me look on YouTube. Did I miss anything? Well, I know I missed a lot, but I tried to hit every single comment I could. Were the pyramids built by the Enochs? Possibly. Ew, see, sheepless. Now that's like an 8-hour discussion. What do I think about the pyramids? I think the pyramids were built with sound. I think they used those sound devices that they found all over Egypt that they hide in the back of museums that they didn't show many people, that the research whistleblower talked about. I think they lifted the blocks with sound, the same way we do in experiments now with levitation, or we did starting back in the 40s. I think we don't know who built the Great Pyramid. I think the Egyptians built a lot of the pyramids because they were trying to replicate the gods who built the pyramid and the Sphinx. I think the Sphinx and the pyramid were probably built not too far apart. And a bare minimum, the Sphinx is what, 10,000 to 12,000 years old, which is far predates Egypt. The pyramids and the Sphinx could have come from a different yuga, right? It could have came from certainly from a civilization we don't know anything about. It could have come from a long time ago. Did Thoth say he built the pyramids? I don't remember. Thoth was that creature that some people say it was Jesus and it was Muhammad and it was one of the pharaohs and it just kept going around, like, because we're wave energy. Sounds crazy, but we are wave energy. And wave energy that's occupying a biological creature. So yeah, it is possible for a creature to go from one body to the next. If you're a religious person, you should understand it. It's called possession. That's why the Catholic Church has then they just opened a new school for possession. Like 4 years ago, there's so many possessed people. So can things jump? Yeah, I think they can. That's what religion tries to tell people. I think the K-Pax movie is real. I think that movie that Denzel Washington was in was real, where the demons were jumping from people. Because it's just technology. I mean, we do this with mice now. We control mice now. We can take their memories and control them. So could a creature do that were significantly advanced, billions of years older than us, that came to Earth? Hell yeah, it could. It's not even that simple. I think we're we're being controlled with television and food. So of course something could control us by shifting and jumping. So yeah, Thoth could have been in all these different creatures, and I think the Emerald Tablets kind of explain that. Well, he was involved in it, and I think he built the Great Pyramid to hide something underneath. If I remember right, it's been at least a few months the last time I read the Emerald Tablets. The whole point, I think, with that sheet was Adrian. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I don't know. You know, all we know is they always lied to us. That's all we know. So we can look back and just say, yeah, there was a lot that happened in the ancient past. It's being kept from people. And it's not being kept from people because they were cavemen that were beating women over the head with clubs and dragging them home. It's kept from us because there's something important in ancient history that elites are using to control us with. The same thing they kept America secret. The same reason they kept Latin America secret. They always, every time they go to a new land, they keep a secret and they use it to control us. Knowledge is not power until you hide it. When it's free, everybody utilizes it. But if you hide it, then you can control people and you can abuse them with it. That's why the CIA has a site in Egypt. Why would the CIA be in Egypt? Why would they be on the Giza Plateau if there wasn't something there? And I think I even saw a theory the other day. They said that one of the reasons that ISIS was over there destroying temples and destroying sites is because they were attempts to hide archaeology and make it harder for us to look back in the past. Because for no real reason, they were over there just blowing up. It's like 1,000 sites. Was it Syria? Syria and other parts in Iraq, they were blowing up sites. Let me see. Point is, there's a psychopath in the mirror if you are detached from your own sustainable interest. Yeah, I think that is, Kevin, on the psychopathy spectrum. Like if you aren't even interested in sustainability of your species, there's definitely something sentient that's not there. If you're not trying to get behind sustainable things that allows the future generation, says angry face. I like the angry face. I'm sorry. If you don't get behind the sustainable things, then yeah, there's something that's not working. I don't know if it's on the psychopathic spectrum, but you definitely means you're not on the sentient spectrum. You're not evolving. You know, that ability to look down the future and not be self-destructive as a species or as a person. It's like that person who keeps dating or marrying violent or destructive people who are toxic and bad form abusers. You know, you have something wrong. There's something you need to update. You got to update your code. Why would you date? Why would you marry someone who you're in an unstable relationship with and thinking that's going to be a sustainable marriage? That's stupid. It's self-destructive. You're going to have to call the police later. Dehydrated wild grape leaves crumbled are tart and delicious if you've not tried them. Okay, thank you. Mrs. T, that's important. I like that. I like that because I actually have, grape leaves as in grapevine. I brought my grapevine back. Actually, I didn't bring it back. I killed it. Which was intentional. It was years ago. I was planting something else in that spot. I had a really old grape tree. Grapevine. But it came back. And I'll give it a shot if you mean grapevine. Very nutritious. It's important for people to know what grows that they can eat. Because you will be hungry later. We are being starved and controlled. The currency is collapsing. So you need to plant the things that you can eat so you don't die. And a lot of stuff out there is poisonous. Another reason I'm growing moringa. I have a lot of moringa trees I'm growing actually. There were waterways there at that time. Yeah, there were some theories around it, Miss T. There were waterways, but the first time the pyramids were built, it could have been a long time. It could have even been before that. There was a temple that they found a sea crustacean embedded in, right? And so there was a theory that the pyramids had been underwater. I mean, they've been under salt water for a significant period of time in order for them to have that. And I think even going back, they said that you could see the water line on the sides of the pyramids, and they cleaned that up. It actually just wasn't just a tropical time, but it actually was underwater, under salt water for a period of time that you could actually, there was salt all on the insides of the pyramids that they cleaned up. And significance of that to me is that we can barely build the pyramids today from a resourcing perspective, or just to actually make it work. And if somebody did that 12,000 or 60,000 years ago, which I think was the other time before the Ice Age they could have built it, if I remember right, then we came from great people. We didn't come from half-naked, grass-wearing, beating women over the head with club cavemen, naked booty scratches. We came from good people. People with high technology that we lost, which would make sense why there's a CIA website or a CIA site in Giza. Cook sand is glass. We may wish to incorporate this into our thought and entertain the idea of the prism glass used in the ships of old in portholes to magnify light. Makes sense, Miss T. Makes sense. I mean, cooked glass, and they would have it because of, what was that big explosion they talk about from the Mahabharata, where there was some sort of a massive explosion that went off and it melted the sand and just made this, was it hundreds and hundreds of square acres or miles of glass out in India somewhere, where there was some ancient war, and so they would have glass and they would figure out prism. Well, prism is what? It's what, focusing light through glass. I don't know. There's a whole lot to it. I'm not even gonna go through it. It hurts my mind just to even think about it. Plus, I gotta get going. I gotta go. It's been a minute. Cue the ending music. Do the last couple comments, then I'm gonna go. Wild grape taking over in my area. Okay. Well, hopefully it's food, Christ. That would be a good thing. Hopefully it is, because people can eat that. That's why people need to plant perennials and things we can eat. When people eat, they're a lot less moody. Ticks hang out in the high grass here, so mowing around the house is a must. Okay. Well, keep them low, Jennifer. But also, you could release things that eat ticks. You could release ladybugs and praying mantis, and they'll take care of that tick problem too. Nature does a better job of what we ever will with our technology. Nature's just a lot smarter than we are. And there's a balance for everything in nature if we look hard. All is energy. Energy is never lost or destroyed. It simply moves from one object to another. That's all it ever does. Christ said it first. I'm sorry. I know. People lose profiles. I laugh every time I see that. Most pyramids are older than we think, plus they are not burial chambers. Explains why there's no artwork, no hieroglyphics on the inside. Right, and the Egyptians didn't do it, Yvonne, and that's a good point. I think some, but the Great Pyramid had no hieroglyphics. I know that for a fact. It had no hieroglyphics there, not tombs. There's nothing tombish about it. But that's that narrative, right? That's the narrative they give everybody, that all these were all tombs and churches. They were pagans and crazy people, shaking the things and doing witch dances and stuff, dumb stuff. It's like, no, none of them were. Well, I don't think any of the pyramids were burial chambers. Nobody's that narcissistic. No one ever was. They were utilized for something. And well, the first one certainly was, and the rest were mimicking that, whatever that was. Let's see. I like the naked booty scratches. Church, the naked booty scratches, they had it. They had it on point. Church, they were healthy, they could run, they had healthy children. I think they got along a lot better than what we do. They didn't have big governments, they didn't have big wars. They knew what natural medicine was. All we required, let me see, hang on, look back to the top. Capstones, maybe prism crystals, right? And somebody said that, Ms. T, that the capstones were crystals, and they've disappeared. The missing tops, right, of the pyramids, absolutely, or certainly the Great Pyramid or the Big Three. All we required used to surround us. I think all we require, Ms. T, probably still surrounds us, is that they just keep it from us, right? The elite can own land, but the poor people can't. So the poor people don't have land, things they need, they'll do whatever the elite tells them to do. I'm a little obstinate that way, Ms. T. I don't like nobody telling me what to do. I'm a non-teller what to do, or I'm a sentient creature that way. Don't tell me what to do. I'm probably going to do the exact opposite, unless I know you said that to try to get me to do the opposite, use that psychology on me, then I ain't going to do nothing. Don't tell me to do that. Don't tell me to go to college and get a job and work for big corporations. And you're a killer. If you say that, then I'm a question. Directed energy light of mind also. Directed energy light, yeah. Directed energy is a thing. Crystals are a thing, and the pyramids, I think, have a lot to do with that. And I think that was a technology that we forgot about. The pyramid, or the Great Pyramid, certainly was made of mostly quartz, if I'm not mistaken, or at least the external stones. And so, yeah, they were probably using that for something, focusing energy to the top. The latest I saw on pyramid technology, they were utilizing the shape in the open chambers in the pyramid to determine how to improve sensor technology and solar panel technology, which means that the pyramids are not piles of stone for dead people to put boxes in with dead people. It means it was so much more than what we understand. Guinea hens love ticks. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Get you some chickens. Absolutely, Deborah. And I have a lot of people around here that got guinea hens. I got somebody got a peacock. I tell you that, Deborah. Once I pulled up to a stoplight and I looked to my right and like it was on unlevel property. There was a hill next to the car and there was a peacock right there looking in my window like this. I pulled up to the stoplight and I parked. And I looked, turned to the side. And I saw a peacock looking in my window, and I just looked straight ahead. Well, yeah, because peacocks do too. They eat the bugs and the slugs with the ducks and the chickens and everything else. It was just crazy, but people around here are doing it. They're realizing how to build sustainable land so that everything they need literally grows around them. I think about that day. I don't know. Crazy stuff happened to me. I have a weird life. And I probably said it to myself too. I think I pulled up and I stopped and said, it's a peacock. Looked at my window. It's a peacock. It's a peacock. I don't do drugs. I've never smoked cannabis, and I'm not sure what the hell is going on. I ain't never ate a mushroom in my life. But it's a peacock in that window that somebody put something in my coffee. That was a crazy day. Right, here you go. Let me see. Egypt is getting better about getting historical sites accessible to the public. They figure if they can get rid of secret Azali Hawass, they can make more money. Is that real, Ivana? I hope so. I don't believe it's true. I hope so. I hope you're right and I hope I'm wrong. I'm seeing them hide more. Like the new temple that they found underneath the Dendera complex. They found that new temple. They found the tops of the pillar, that there's a whole temple that's buried, and they have not said anything about that. That was a tourist who accidentally saw it because one of the whistleblowers in Egypt showed them, or at the tourist area, showed them that while they were doing some floor work, underneath that floor tile was the top of another pillar, that there was another temple. I'm seeing Egypt hide more. You know, I think Egypt would do the same thing American government would do. Like, it always is about hiding information. Zahi Was was a corrupt criminal, but he's still giving tours over there, and he's making millions giving tours, and he's still in bed with a lot of people in the Egyptian government. I think he just got caught stealing so much, they had to kick him out and bring somebody else in, but he's still highly influential over there, and they're still hiding a lot of our ancestors' information. It would be a great thing if we got rid of these government things and we just went back to like truth and freedom and love and stuff like that, sovereignty and free will, leaving each other alone. And then the Egyptian government collapsed with ours and everybody went back to being free. Then nobody would have any reason to hide ancient archaeology. Nobody would have any reason to hide technology to make drones grow food instead of murder people. No one would have any reason to hide geoengineering. They wouldn't do any of those things. All right, let me get out of here. I gotta eat something. I didn't get to that. Just drink coffee. Weirdness means you're in the flow. A guy called Squire Rushnell wrote a book called God Winks about those. Okay, thank you, Patricia. Any last words so I can go directly like energy? Let me see. Some days I cannot wait to get the fudge out of this location. Would prefer my lawn be a hayfield and a meadow or pond edge. And any plant that are let to grow, being contributing to the food or shelter or pollinator or attraction or medicinal or native beneficial, and even those non-native, non-invasive beautification. Deborah sounds almost like a Garden of Eden. Almost sounds like a Garden of Eden. Imagine that, human beings living in a land where everything is provided for them. They become happy and they provide for each other. Like, you don't fight over tomatoes when you got too many to eat. You give them away. When you give them away, that makes other people happy. It means they have to work less. That's why we have to build communities. I agree with you. That sounds like a Garden of Eden. That's actually one of my exit strategies. I plan on ending up on a piece of property surrounded by my gardens of Eden. And if this nonsense is still going on and we're waiting for the end, I'm just going to live out my days in a garden, growing in probably greenhouses to keep the 5G and all of the, not 5G, the chemtrails and all that crap from falling on my crops and whatever else is coming out in airplanes or whatever new thing they decide to spray and test on us. All right, that's it. Got to get going. This is Gerard. Y'all have a great day. That was a good one. Hopefully we found some new people. Hopefully you got a little angry face. Hopefully you got a little angry face action. That's how you know things are changing. But anyway, Earth status. Focus on the real problems, because everything that's popular to me is always controlled opposition. They literally make things popular. Look up Eddie Bernays. Look up the book called Propaganda. It'll explain to you that there's nothing grassroots, there are no grassroots movements that any politicians are cheering. All the movements come from above, handed down. And nothing from above, handed down is going to help you free the planet or is going to be sustainable. You need to come up with grassroots ideas, not the ones handed to you by these criminals. The people who made the problems and get paid for the problems will never try to fix the problem. That's the dumbest thing. They aren't going to bite the hand that feeds them. All right, I get it going. Drugs are just a temporary escape from reality. You choose if you need it or not. Won't solve anything though. Nope. Shapeless drugs don't solve anything. People hide from being adults. We need to come out from under the drug covers, come out from under the political party covers, come out from under all of these covers preventing us from being adults. Grow the hell up, mature, fix the world in your own mirror, build community, look at the real world problems and come about real world solutions. This is Gerard. I gotta get going. Love y'all to death now. Y'all have a great day. Didn't even look in the news, don't know what's going on, don't even care because they're all lying anyway. Gotta go.